Right now, at Steve Pawnee Mazda, save on a new Mazda lease or enjoy 0.9% APR financing on a new 2026 Mazda CX-50 with 1.9% on CX-50 hybrids, 0.9% on the new 2026 Mazda CX-70 and CX-90, and 0% on PHEV models. See the dealership for details. As Rick says, come on in, let's look at the deals. Let's take care of you. How about 2.9% on a new 2026 Mazda CX-30 or CX-5, where it's always easy to do business? Steve Pawnee Mazda.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, it is First News Keeler in the morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. Jeff Manaski alongside Steve Houck. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning.
And we're going to go right to the phone lines where Fox is. Oh, she's not there yet. Good morning. How are you? Another kind of a chilly morning here this morning. A couple of things to get to today. There's a big game going on in New Hartford Little League. It's the 10 to 12-year-olds. And they're in a best out of three situation, and they're hosting a game at New Hartford Little League later today. We will talk with Mike Gentile, who is the administrator of District 10 Little League, coming up in the 8 o'clock hour briefly. A quick recap of the World Series of Bocce, which went on this weekend in the city of Rome. Of course, on Friday, we were broadcasting live from the Tucalana Club in Rome. And we'll touch base with Blake Gendabine as well next hour, Democratic candidate for New York's 21st Congressional District. I've seen Anthony Constantino is out making the rounds locally, attending events over the weekend.
I saw a video yesterday he posted in the boxing ring, being trained by his trainer, looking to lose some weight. Apparently, was the focus of his video.
I'm still skeptical of his boxing career. 3 fights, I think. It depends on what website you go to. I think one says he fought twice. The other says he fought 3 times. Or one website says he fought once, and another one says he fought twice. But I'm skeptical of this.
Let's just say the punches weren't lightning fast.
Well, yeah. We'll talk to candidate Blake Gendabine coming up later this morning at around 7:45. And Utica councilperson Samantha Colosimo Testa reacts to our discussion with Katie Aiello yesterday on the program. We'll do that and more. And some feedback. I'd like to know what people think. You brought this up to me, and I'm kind of alarmed at how early it is. Kids are heading back to school, at least in some districts, pretty early this year.
Yeah, I found out by accident, actually, planning a late trip. We always try to take a trip right before school starts. And I was shocked to see that many of them are before Labor Day this year. Because Labor Day is a little bit later this year. It's the 7th. But normally it's always go back the day or 2 days after Labor Day. And I was shocked to see that it's the week before. And actually, I believe New Hartford is the 26th of August, which is really early. And I called a couple of friends who I know live downstate to see what their children are doing, and they're all going back after Labor Day like is traditional. So I was a bit shocked by that and honestly a bit annoyed.
Yeah, that is pretty early. August 26th is the date that we have. I see here Whitesboro returns also prior to Labor Day, but later. It's September 4th. Where, as you said, Labor Day is the 7th, so typically kids would go back either the Wednesday or Thursday after that.
Right, so they're going back Thursday or Friday before the weekend when they have the Monday off. It doesn't make any sense to me. It seems like, I understand towards the end of the year there's only so many days they have to get in, but to throw, many people travel for Labor Day, and you're essentially throwing that into chaos. So if anybody's planned a trip, if you're listening, if you've planned a trip already, you might want to take a look at the calendar.
Not sure yet, and we'll find out here. I'm sure we'll get some feedback from folks when the Utica City School District, the Rome City School District, when they are scheduled to head back for the upcoming school year. But August 26th does seem early. A friend of mine who lives in Texas said to me, he asked if my son was ready to go back to school, and I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh, I forgot. You guys go back later than us. in Texas, where he is. He said they go back the 16th of August, which is, to me, extremely early. But I said, I asked him why so early, and he goes, well, the kids get out at the end of May, and he goes, if you're sitting in line in a vehicle waiting to pick up a kid in Texas in like the first week of June, he's like, it's 100 degrees here. Yeah,
they in Florida does the same thing. They go back early, and I understand that because it's a weather thing for them. I believe Utica School District is the 2nd
of September.
Yeah,
so it is everybody,
which is a Wednesday. So
almost everybody anyway. Yeah. We'll talk now with Fox News Radio's Tanya J. Powers. We'll continue this conversation and get some feedback from you as well. Tanya J. Powers on the line now. A primary going on in the state of Arizona. And, of course, everybody wants to know, who is Trump's pick, and will that mean that the candidate he's backing pick up the victory?
Hey, good morning. And by the way, my former home state, schools go back August 3rd.
August 3rd?
Ooh. Yep.
And that's Mississippi?
You're registering in July, and yeah, some Mississippi schools around Memphis go back August 3rd. Others go back August 6th in Memphis. So yeah, it's very early. You're usually doing registration by the end of July.
So what does that mean when they get out of school? Are they getting out in the beginning of June or the end of May?
Oh no, you're getting out. Usually it's right around Memorial Day. Is when it always falls. Okay. Memorial Day is kind of like the end of the school year-ish, that week or maybe the week before. I think some of them they get out May 22nd next year is the day that they're finished, which I guess would put it before Memorial Day. But yeah, that is a common thing in this. I was very shocked when I moved up here and had school age kids and was like, wait a minute, they don't go back till after Labor Day? What?
Yeah, it's usually the Wednesday or Thursday after Labor Day, and it's been that way for a long time. I don't ever remember it being before Labor Day up here. But in any event, and give or take, if you say August 3rd, and we're looking at least a couple of the local districts, September 4th and September 2nd, that's generally a month before, because here, like this year, the kids didn't get out till like June 22nd or 25th.
No, I think it was 26th
Which is late.
Very late.
It seems late to me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. All right. Tanya, in the state of Arizona, who is Trump backing, and will his endorsement, essentially, as it has in many cases, lead to almost a guaranteed victory?
That's a good question. Arizona, the big races that we're watching nationally, governor, Arizona's 1st district, as well as Arizona's 4th district. Also, I'm kind of watching congressional district number 6 in addition to those. But Arizona's governor, Katie Hobbs, is a Democrat. She is running for re-election. The Republicans are hoping to pick up that seat. You've got a Republican Congressman, Andy Biggs, as well as Congressman David Schweikert, and 2 businessmen. They are vying for the chance to challenge Hobbs. Now, Biggs has been endorsed by the president as well as Turning Point Action, which is, of course, headquartered in Arizona. Since Schweikert is running in the gubernatorial primary, you've got some Republicans that are running to replace him in his, seat in Congress. In the 1st district, one of those is a Trump-backed former NFL kicker, Jay Feely. Interestingly enough, he does not live in the district. Joseph Chaplik, who is a state representative, is also challenging him. That's an interesting race to watch because this is the 1st district. Because, like I said, he doesn't live in the district. Jay Feely doesn't. He actually came over to the 1st district because he was asked to by Trump and Turning Point Action. He was in a safe GOP district, so they had somebody else they wanted to run in that district, so they asked him to come and run in this one. Chaplik is the former state lawmaker. He's more MAGA-aligned and more of a Trump ally, but he didn't get the endorsement. He's basically calling Feely a carpetbagger. So it's a very interesting race as far as the soap opera aspect goes. On the Democrats' side, in that 1st district race, you've got a local anchor who was she was a Republican. She was married to a former Attorney General. He became an anti-Trumper in the 2016 era. She is running as somebody who was kind of left behind by the party. She's running as a Democrat, running as somebody left behind by the Republicans. So that's an interesting kind of dynamic as well.
Yeah.
like I said, that governor's race, that is the Republicans are really hoping to pick up that seat. Katie Hobbs, even though there's Republicans in majority in the lawmakers part of that, she is known for her vetoes of the laws that they have passed, and she says no, we're not doing that, which is an interesting thing, especially when you look at some of the how the election denying stuff kind of ties into it, and all of the audit in Arizona of the election, the ballots, and all of that sort of ties together. It'll be interesting to see how voters come down on which side of that.
So, is there an example of some of the laws that she said, no, I'm not signing that, I don't care if it's been passed?
I don't have a list in front of me, but I do know that there has been some and that's kind of what Andy Biggs, I remember he's the Republican congressman who was running against Schweikert to challenge her, and she's running unopposed, obviously, she's the incumbent, but he's hoping to challenge her because as, Republican congressman, he's saying, if you put me in there, I won't veto all the things that you guys wanted to pass or did pass. That's kind of what his seems to be in the primaries. Another interesting thing I understand from reporting from the state, I have not been there on the ground, so I can't I can't say from my own experience with this. But apparently, they're not as much campaigning as they are kind of holding just like group meetings. They're on the Republican side. They're not really, going out and doing a lot of campaigning, which is kind of interesting. So I don't know how that's also going to work in their favor, too, because the thing that, you normally see would be like rallies or, stuff like that. And evidently that's not being done as much this time. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this primary goes, which one of these Republicans are going to challenge Hobbs, and also how that first district, the reason I mentioned Congressional District 6, there's not really a competitive primary there, but you've got a lot of people who rely on SNAP and the programs that were cut. Arizona has seen some of the steepest SNAP cuts, if not the steepest SNAP cuts, because of the Big Beautiful Bill. It's interesting to watch and see how voters are going to react to that, especially when you're looking at things like the economy and those cuts in SNAP and how that's affecting people from that bill. Will that keep people home? Will that sway their vote one way or the other? That's one of the things I'm kind of watching, especially in that District 6.
All right. Fox News Radio's Tanya J. Powers, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
We'll go from Tanya to Joe Load on the road. I understand he's chomping at the bit and something he's got to get off his chest. What's going on, Joe?
Well, first of all, Jeff and Asky, we're not on the road. We're on the water. I'm right off the coast of Oswego, New York, here with TK Charters on a fishing boat. We already got 2 king salmon apiece on the boat. They don't do anything here but catch fish with TK Charters. Captain Tom, and we're out here on the water right now. We left the docks around 5 a.m. this morning.
Wow.
And we already got 2 each on the boat. We got 1 more to go, 1 more pass, and we're going to be having breakfast at Walt.
Nice. Well, why don't you take your fish home and cook that up for breakfast?
I could. I can bring you some. I got Fish and Phil from the Tug Hill here. We got Caston Paulie Nichols from Whitesboro, Dipsy Dive Dave from Rumson, and both Captain Tom and his first mate Pete. We're right out here on the coast of Oswego.
And let's just make sure we get the plug right. Who is it with? Who are you with?
TK Charters. That's the only name you need to know in Oswego.
All right, Joe. Let me get your reaction to something. We were talking about this morning. How early are the kids going back? It's too early, right?
Are the kids going back where?
To school. Did you know this? Like New Hartford goes back the last week of August, the 26th.
What happened?
Whitesboro, Utica, and Rome are all going back prior to Labor Day, which I can't really remember happening. I'm not saying it's never happened.
Jeff,
but
here's the reason why. You want the real reason why? I think.
Tell me. That's why I asked you, Joe. That's why I asked you.
That's my opinion. Because they take so many damn days off during the school year, they have to make up for them somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Those kids should be in school year-round, I think. Always learning. This is the problem with this country. We got to. If you go to China, they're in school year-round. They make them. They make them into these superhumans that can invent things, like viruses and stuff.
Well, apparently in Scotland, they get a whole 28 days off so they can come over here for the FIFA World Cup. And not have to worry about.
Then they got to go back the rest of the year.
All right, so hey, Joe.
They drank all our beer when they were here, Jeff.
Joe, good luck. Be safe and catch something nice.
Hey, we got 8 in the boat already, and TK Charters. They'll show you where the fish are.
Hey, Joe, it's Steve Houck. If I could, just a bit of advice. Far be it for me to give you advice, but could you cut the gas station caffeine pills in half in the morning?
Yeah.
Just cut them in half.
And listen, look what time it is. It's what, 6:42 in the morning, and I'm already raring to go.
Yeah, you are, Joe. Have a good time today.
Hey, one of these days we'll all have to get out here on the boat and do a little fishing together.
All right, works for me.
All right, you guys have a great day back there. Well, we're fishing away out here on off the coast of Oswego.
All right, that
Thanks,
is
Joe.
Joe Lode on the water this morning, checking in. He's already got 2 salmon. They got 2 salmon apiece out there. We'll do a quick news update here, Smitty. There it is. Mostly cloudy skies to start. It is 6:43, and we are currently at, let me get you an official temperature right here, 67 degrees. Tropical storm Bertha is bringing rain and wind along the Gulf Coast. The latest update from the National Hurricane Center puts the storm about 110 miles southwest of Panama City, Florida, heading northwest with maximum sustained winds of about 50 miles an hour. President Trump will attend the dignified transfer of 2 American soldiers killed in Iranian attacks in Jordan over the weekend. The dignified transfer will take place today at Dover Air Force Base. 19-year-old Isabella Gonzalez of Texas was killed on Friday, while 25-year-old Tyler Freehan of Hawaii died on Saturday. Meanwhile, President Trump says he's putting an additional 50% tariff on certain Canadian goods over alleged trade discrimination. The White House says Trump signed 3 proclamations on Monday that target certain Canadian imports with the tariffs as a response to trade discrimination. The White House says Trump is leveling the playing field for crucial American exports that include motor vehicles, alcohol, and dairy products. New York City Mayor Mamdani is standing behind his call to arrest Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The Israeli leader is expected to visit the Big Apple in September for the UN General Assembly, and Mamdani says he is in talks with his legal team to figure out how the correct procedure should take place. It comes after a recent New York Times podcast interview where the mayor said Netanyahu belongs in The Hague. And an Army veteran is in custody after an incident outside of a Manhattan federal building on Monday. Authorities say Andrew Mbaka was armed with knives, axes, an airsoft rifle, and other weapons, as well as a sign reading "Ice off our streets." They say he poured gasoline on the ground outside the building and lit the gas, along with a firework. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 6:45. Here's your Weather Center forecast.
Front is going to result in windy and wet conditions today with showers and thunderstorms from this morning to the afternoon with a high of 83 as winds gust up out of the south. More rain tonight down to 62, and then a windy and cooler Wednesday tomorrow with scattered thunderstorms at a high of 73. Clearing will take place on Thursday. The high reaches 76. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now we have cloudy skies, 67 degrees at 6:46.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. This is Dan from Acme Pool and Spa on Commercial Drive in New Hartford, across from Texas Roadhouse. Get years of summer fun for you and your family with a new above-ground pool starting at just $89.99 installed. You can take advantage of our 0% in-house financing. We can have your new pool installed in about 10 days. Don't let the summer pass you by. If an in-ground pool is your dream, the experts at Acme will guide you through the process. There's nothing better than enjoying summer in your backyard with an in-ground pool. Don't miss out on our midsummer sale with above-ground pools starting at $89.99 installed within about 10 days with our in-house 0% financing. Or let the experts at Acme guide you through selecting a custom in-ground pool, choosing from steel or fiberglass options. That's Acme Pool and Spa on Commercial Drive in New Hartford, and our midsummer pool sale going on now. We do the work, you just enjoy.
Little Falls Lumber has everything you need for home improvement season. They're fully stocked with secondary grade metal in all colors, available in 12-foot lengths and affordable solutions for sheds, garages, and roof repairs. Tired of digging through warped boards at the big box stores? At Little Falls Lumber, you'll find only premium grade lumber, hand-selected for quality. They also carry roofing, siding, windows, doors, and much more. Visit Little Falls Lumber in Little Falls and Syracuse. Call 315-823-2470 or go to littlefallslumber.com.
This is Bill Keeler, and I have to tell you, my family relies on New York Sash, and we have several times when it comes to home improvement, and so have so many members of our family. And right now, there's an awesome time for you to take advantage of what New York Sash has to offer with their America 250 sale as they celebrate America's 250th with an amazing opportunities here. Right now, when you buy 2 windows, you'll get 1 free. 4, get 2 free. 10, get 5 free. The list goes on. There's no limit. Plus, you'll save 50% off expert bath installation. And here's the biggie. This is huge. Qualified buyers can receive 0% financing for 25 months, making it easier for you to do it now and not use the maybe next year excuse. It's time to do it now. It's New York Sash. Go to newyorksash.com for details. Call them 624-7344 or visit them on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro, New York Sash.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, we are back. First News Keeler in the morning. WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM. I think I have a couple more dates. Don't quote me on this, but this is what I was able to get online. Again, August 26th, New Hartford, Whitesboro, September 4th, Utica, September 2nd, and Rome, September 3rd.
Holland Patton, September 3rd, too.
Thank you very much, Smitty, and HP, September 3. So most, all of them that we listed there are before Labor Day. New Hartford, that does seem pretty early, though.
The teachers have to go back even earlier, usually at least a week before that, right?
Right, for prep and stuff. Yeah, so typically I think, let's say it's September 7th this year's Labor Day, teachers would be back around the 3rd or the 4th to get ready for, welcoming the students back. So I don't know. Joe made the point about the kids are constantly off. Like, obviously we're 25 years since I was going to say retired, graduated from high school. We never got 2 weeks off for Christmas. It would be like we would be there the week leading up. We might get Christmas Eve off, and then I think we would get the week following off, which included part of that was for New Year's Day, and then you would go back the following Monday. I mean, kids now get a full 2 weeks. It's like, and if you put weekends in, it's like 16 days.
It is a long time. My big complaint about the going back so early is a lot of families plan Labor Day as a vacation.
Absolutely.
And as a capstone of the summer. And then if you're not paying attention, I mean, I just assumed it's after Labor Day. I assumed the 8th. Labor Day being the 7th, go back on the 8th. And I mean, you figure it's a whole 5 days, if not, more. New Hartford's going back, a whole week before that. So you're 2 full weeks before the end of Labor Day.
Yeah, and I don't remember exactly when they went back last year, but this is the first, to my recollection anyway, that they're going back that early. 315-736-0186 if you want to weigh in on that topic. And is it a good thing or a bad thing why the kids are going back so early? I wonder if there's a reason specifically. I mean, obviously they are off longer. We talked about the extended Christmas break, Christmas, New Year's. They get a week off in February, a week off in April. You got other holidays in there as well. Something you sent me, obviously with your law enforcement background, what is the story about the Massachusetts State Police reviewing cases involving a trooper? This kind of contaminates all the work that he's done before?
Well, so you remember the Karen Reed case where her husband, who was the former Boston PD cop, who she was, I think she wasn't acquitted. It was hung jury last time, so I don't know if they're going to prosecute her again. I forget, to be honest with you. Maybe she was acquitted. Anyway, they're out at a party together with a bunch of other cops, drinking going on, and one way or the other, he ends up dead in the street. And it was reported initially that she backed over him and killed him during the course of an argument. Anyway, during the course of that case, one of the troopers that was the lead investigator in it had made some comments that came out during the trial. Negative comments. He had texted to friends about her specifically, and apparently his text messages became public just recently, and in that were very racially charged comments, completely unrelated to Karen Reed, and apparently this went on for years with him and other troopers and other people. I read some of them. It's all over the Boston news and all over Massachusetts news. It's pretty offensive stuff. So now the superintendent announced, I think day before yesterday, they're going to go back and look at all the cases he investigated to see if there's some sort of bias, because there's a murder conviction that's in the balances now that the defense attorneys are saying he didn't get a fair investigation because of this guy's racial animus. So the question is whether there's any legal standing to go after him after the fact. But the superintendent said they're going to look at all the cases he was involved in, which is going to be pretty laborious to be able to go through and look at all the cases and see if there was any type of bias that he might have had towards any of the defendants throughout of it. So it'll be interesting.
Your opinion on that, and not necessarily in this case in particular, but the idea that when there is found to be or alleged to be some level of corruption with an officer, I've seen cases or read about cases where, there might be an officer who plants drugs or something during a traffic stop, and then obviously that calls into question all their other traffic stops that maybe drugs were involved. How laborious is that process to go back over someone's career and reopen, every case that kind of falls into this category, depending on what your parameters are?
It's got to be huge, especially for someone like that, state police. And it sounds like he was handling a lot of cases in the Boston area, which, it's a huge city, so it's got a lot of cases. And here's the thing about it is that you can't pretend that we don't all have biases that come in. We all have them in our lives. So you can't just pretend that, okay, when you take a certain job that all of a sudden your biases go out the door. Biases don't necessarily have to be a bad thing. If they turn into a bad thing, then that's a real problem. But in this case, it seems that whether he had them coming into the job or they developed while he was on the job, he certainly had prejudice and bias towards people of color. So that's got to be looked at one way or the other. Now, maybe they'll find that there was nothing in the case that he could, push one way or the other, but having been the person that was involved in big cases, a lot of it does depend on your investigation. Sometimes cases move forward or don't go forward. So I think it's only right to look at them and see if there was any of that.
It is a Tuesday morning, 6:55. Coming up next hour, we'll talk with Utica Councilperson Samantha Colosimo Testa and Blake Gendabine next hour as well. I just saw the latest Constantino commercial. And what were the claims he was making? He hates American workers. Constantino was saying this of Blake Gendabine, or I should say, to be more accurate, the political ad was saying this of Blake Gendabine. Hates American workers, bailed out an illegal alien for $10,000. I saw that flash up on the screen as well. We'll talk about that and get your questions. And also, obviously, the two are showing down in the election in November, looking to replace Elise Stefanik in the 21st Congressional District. All right, it is a Tuesday morning, a quick timeout. It's First News Keeler in the morning, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
If you're looking for flooring, boy, do I have the perfect place for you. This is Bill Keeler, and I highly recommend Sarah's Flooring Outlet, the area's leading flooring store. They have the absolute largest inventory in Central New York, and it's a brand new store at the Route 49 Plaza in Marcy. And if you're looking for Pergo Extreme, they have a price guarantee anywhere in the area within a 60-mile radius of their store. It's a pretty awesome deal, and you know you're going to get the best deal at Insera's. Log on to their website at inserasflooringoutlet.com and sign up to save $50 off your next purchase of $500 or more. You can shop online or in the store. You will not find a better selection than Insera's Flooring Outlet. See why more people buy from the big store. Its selection, its price, and it's a 6-month interest-free financing. Log on to the website, inserasflooringoutlet.com, and see for yourself or visit their store. Insera's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road in Marcy.
Something old is new in the village of New Hartford. Introducing Handshake Antiques, now open at 66 Genesee Street, next to Giorgio's Village Cafe. Not your grandma's antique shop. Think clean, curated, and cool. From high-end furniture, vintage fashion, vinyl records, to oddities and all things eclectic. And we're always buying, so look in your attic or basement. And if it's old, call Handshake Antiques. Plus, inventory changes weekly, so every visit is a new find. Handshake Antiques, where it never went out of style.
If you're watching the market, you may know that gold has pulled back more than 20% from its recent highs. Silver has fallen even further. History shows that this could be the perfect time to diversify your retirement portfolio to include precious metals like gold and silver. In crisis after crisis over the last 50 years, gold fell first, then surged to new highs as the crisis unfolded. That's why Advantage Gold wants to send you a free gold investment guide valued at $49, plus a free copy of economist Ken Rogoff's best-selling book, Our Dollar, Your Problem, when you call 800-900-8000. In today's market, government debt has exploded to nearly $40 trillion, and central banks around the world continue buying gold at record levels. The smart money sees opportunity. If you're considering diversifying a retirement account with precious metals, tax and penalty-free, now is the best time to call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Results vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Did you know your most treasured rugs can look new again? At ABC Chem Dry, we specialize in premium area rug cleaning. From treasured family heirlooms to fine rugs from around the world, our trained specialists use a careful 5-step process: inspecting, dusting, cleaning, drying, grooming, and protecting, so your rug always gets the expert care it deserves. Don't wait. Call ABC Chem Dry today at 315-738-1111 to schedule a drop-off.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 From the WB Tain Insurance Studio, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
They had to abandon ship. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The crew of an oil tanker attacked by Iran today in the Strait of Hormuz as the fight continues over control of shipping in that waterway with another round of American bombing.
This was the 10th consecutive night of strikes aimed at degrading Iran's ability to threaten vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. Central Command released a statement saying since early May, CENTCOM forces have helped to facilitate the transit of approximately 900 commercial vessels and 450 million barrels of crude oil. They went on to say American forces remain postured and prepared to hold Iran accountable for unwarranted aggression.
That's Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Mediators in Pakistan still trying to salvage the deal that had stopped the fighting, meeting today with an Iranian official. Meanwhile, this afternoon, War Secretary Pete Hegseth and the military's top general, Joint Chiefs Chairman Dan Kane, could face tough questions about the Iran conflict, especially from Democrats at a Senate hearing as they urge Congress to approve $87 billion in new military funding. President Trump is going after Canada again, escalating trade tension.
This new tariff, it's an additional 50% on Canadian goods. It goes into effect August 19th.
Fox Business Network Cheryl Casoni. Canada's Prime Minister vows to intensify trade talks to protect his country. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says they should fight the tariffs dollar for dollar.
I got to remind President Trump that 33% of the lumber, and we have better quality lumber here in Canada, comes from Canada to build their homes.
It's a primary day in Arizona with several races for Congress and governor. In South Carolina, The filing period opens for Republicans who want to run in next month's special primary to pick a new GOP Senate nominee to replace late Senator Lindsey Graham. His sister Darlene, appointed as a senator to fill out Graham's current term after his death, tells Fox she will run to keep that seat.
He's worked so hard for so long. I can't just let that die.
America's listening to Fox News.
If you haven't switched to Pure Talk because you're not sure their coverage is every bit as reliable as Big Wireless, why not take them for a test drive? For a limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited data plan. No contracts, no commitments. Just a great deal on a high-speed network with unlimited data from an American wireless company. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Born on America's darkest day, September 11th, 01, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, they have helped American heroes ever since. Heroes like United States Navy Chief Shannon Kent. Kent was killed in a suicide bombing, leaving behind her husband, Joseph, their 2 kids. Tunnel to Towers honored her sacrifice and paid off the family mortgage, giving them security forever. Donate $11 a month. Maybe you have a car to donate, land to donate. Please go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Homeland Security calls him an anti-ICE rioter. A U.S. Army veteran jailed in New York City accused of an attack outside a federal building.
Local and federal law enforcement say Andrew Arabaka lit gasoline and fired a pellet gun outside government offices where immigration court was held. 3 people were hurt. He's now in federal custody. FBI special agent in charge in New York, James Barnacle, said Arabaka told them directly.
He was targeting the building, and he was okay if he hurt or killed people going in and out of the building.
Arabaka also had knives and other weapons on him. NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch said he may have had tactical training.
He is believed to be a U.S. Army veteran.
He also had a sign protesting ICE. The investigation is continuing. In New York, Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A tropical storm is churning slowly just south of the Florida Panhandle. Bertha.
We don't expect it to become a hurricane, but it's moving over those warmer waters. It is encountering a little bit of moisture to help it out. By the time we get into early tomorrow morning, it will probably have moved maybe 50 to 100 miles, not very far at all.
Fox weather meteorologist Craig Herrera. Bertha could move into Louisiana Thursday. On Wall Street, some big gains are brewing. Dow futures up more than 200 points, about 400 for the NASDAQ. They keep celebrating a championship in Spain. A few million people partied in the streets of Madrid at a parade for Spain's World Cup soccer team, which shut out Argentina in Sunday's final. They also celebrated in Boston as the Red Sox win streak continues.
Swinging a high fly ball left field. This is deep. Back it goes. Yes, sir. It's out of here. Home run.
Caleb Durbin broke a tie in the 8th inning, and then Boston hung on to beat Baltimore 6-5 on Nesson. The Red Sox 14th straight win, the team's longest streak in almost 80 years. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
We have cloudy skies, 67 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time 7:05. This news update is brought to you by Destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. A Utica man on probation for viewing child sexual abuse material is facing 2 decades in prison for violating the terms of his supervised release. David McMurray pleaded guilty on July 8th to accessing child pornography. He was still under federal supervision from a 2013 conviction on similar charges when, around September 2025, he went online to view that material again. Prosecutors say McMurray spent months disregarding the conditions that were supposed to keep him out of trouble, including monthly reports, a polygraph test, and more. He now faces 10 to 20 years in prison, a fine of up to $250,000, and a supervised release term of at least 5 years. Along with that supervised release could extend for the remainder of his life on those child pornography charges. A Roman charged in connection with a fatal stabbing appearing in Oneida County Court for a pretrial offer. Gregory Mignot Jr., charged with murder in connection with the stabbing in April. He rejected a plea deal of 22 years to life in state prison If he is convicted at trial, he could serve up to 25 to life. He is due to begin trial next month. The trial for the death of Melina Fradolin has begun in Elizabethtown. Melina's father, Luciano, has been charged in her death after her body was found in Ticonderoga last year. Dozens of people filling multiple rooms inside the Essex County Courthouse while jury selection began yesterday. Court wrapped up after 5 jurors were picked. The trial could last for up to 3 weeks, and jury selection is set to continue this morning. And U.S. Senator Charles Schumer is aiming to reduce meat prices at the grocery store with a new bill. He made the announcement outside of a Tops Friendly Markets in Auburn yesterday, saying he wants to create more competition by breaking up monopolies in the meat industry. The bill would place limitations on how many different kinds of meat companies can sell in order to ensure that prices don't, quote, become out of control. Schumer mentioned that things such as price gouging needs to be investigated and monitored as well. Money will also be invested into farming, with some farmers receiving little pay from big companies right now for some of the meat that they are producing. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 7:08. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
A front is going to result in windy and wet conditions today with showers and thunderstorms from this morning to the afternoon with a high of 83 as winds gust up out of the south. More rain tonight down to 62, and then a windy and cooler Wednesday tomorrow with scattered thunderstorms at a high of 73. Clearing will take place on Thursday as the high reaches 76. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Cloudy skies, 67 degrees at 7:08. All right, from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk. Yankees get a win. Mets lose. Mets fell to the Brewers a final of 8-3 in the opener in Milwaukee. Freddie Peralta, the former Brewer, surrendered 7 runs on 8 hits and 2 walks. The Mets have dropped 2 of their last 3. They continue that 3-game series tonight. Yankees beating the Pirates 8-5 in the opener at Yankee Stadium. Jazz Chisholm went 2 for 4 with a pair of homers and 5 RBIs. I think he's got 3 homers in his last 2 games, right?
He's on fire. On fire.
Yankees have won back-to-back games. They continue that 3-game series tonight. The Red Sox extended their winning streak to 14 games, rallying for a 6-5 victory over the Orioles at Fenway Park. Caleb Durbin had a go-ahead solo home run in the bottom of the 8th. Boston will continue that 3-game series tonight. Worried about the Red Sox?
No. And
14 straight games?
And let me ask you, how many times do you think in your broadcasting career you've actually said the phrase, Yankees win, Mets lose?
Oh, gosh.
We could put that on a loop, could we not, Davey?
Very funny. But, yeah, it's more often than not, for sure. The NBA's all-time leading scorer, you got any insight on this, where LeBron's going to go?
I hope into retirement.
LeBron James focusing on the Heat, Cavs, and Sixers as his potential landing spots. The 41-year-old who was also considering the Warriors, Nuggets, and T-Wolves as Western Conference candidates. There is still no timetable for his decision.
Well, Pat Riley's going all out to get him to come back to the Heat because they got Giannis now.
Yeah.
So
what's he chasing, Jeff? Is he chasing something? Is it a number?
Another
you think?
title? I don't know.
But is there a record you think he's going for? Titles? What is it?
I really don't know. I think he's the longest NBA career now, 24 seasons. He's the all-time leading scorer.
I mean, I thought it was his son, but he checked that box, played with his son. I thought that was the thing. So I mean, does he have as many as Jordan? He doesn't have as many titles, does he?
No.
Jordan had 6, right?
Yeah.
So what's he at now? 4?
I'd have to double check that for sure. Cleveland, Miami. How many in Miami? I think
Did
just
he win
1.
I thought he won 2 in Miami.
I think they went back to back in Miami, and then the one with the Lakers.
So that would put him at so 4. So 6 would be a stretch, and then 7 would be way out there.
Yeah. So 12, 13, 16, and 20. He does have 4 NBA titles.
Considering somebody that doesn't follow basketball, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
He and Giannis would be, I think, tough to match. I know there's not enough basketballs on the court to go around, I feel like, for the 2 of them. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm still in shock that the Knicks won the title this year.
Is Bam Adebayo still on the...
Yeah, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Scored 86 last season.
Yeah,
86 points.
Jeez.
We'll take a quick timeout. Coming up, we'll chat with Councilperson Samantha Colosimo-Testa. Obviously, yesterday we talked to Katie Aiello on a few different things. One being the lawsuit that she filed against other elected officials in the city over the mayor's raise, current mayor Michael Galimi's raise going back a couple of years now. We'll get her thoughts on that. And after 7:30, Blake Gendabine, candidate for New York's 21st Congressional District, will join us as well. It's First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-500-8585. That's 800-500-8585. 800-500-8585.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
You know you want one. A Bad Boys mower isn't just another mower. It's second to none. It's an American-built machine with heavy-duty U.S. steel and shipped straight to Bob's Bad Boys mowers, never sitting around in a warehouse. That means when you're ready to mow, your bad boy is ready to go. And when the job's done, we're still here with expert sales, service, maintenance, and warranty support. Stop by Bob's Bad Boys Sales and Service, 6419 Middle Road in Muncie. Call 315-264-2781 or visit bobsbadboys.com.
Is your business the best at what you do? Then you should be a Central New York's Industry Ace. Our Industry Aces are made up of the best businesses in the region and will help you tell your story to thousands of consumers in the Mohawk Valley. With a combination of on-air and online testimonial commercials, along with targeted social media ads that are guaranteed to reach the consumers you want to be talking to. And best of all, these messages are coming directly from you. Interested in learning more? Contact Megan Powers at 315-768-9500.
The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is now accepting new patients. This is Bill Keeler. It is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. And right now, the Falcon Clinic is accepting new patients. Since adding some new physicians, a new physician's assistant, including Dr. Cheryl Mattern, they are now accepting new patients. Just call 315-507-4751. And yes, it is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, which means they do more. They look deeper. And your appointments are not in and out on your way. You're going to be with the doctor as long as you need to be with the doctor. And if your appointment is at 2 o'clock, you're in shortly thereafter. You're not going to sit around for an hour and a half. That's big. It's the Falcon Clinic. Dr. Kosminski, Dr. Mattern, Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Shemaleski, all under one roof. The Falcon Clinic. Call 315-507-4751.
Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers is a simple, anonymous way to keep our neighborhood safe by reporting crimes anonymously. Cash incentives are available if the tip leads to an arrest. If you see something, say it here. MohawkValleyCrimeStoppers.com or phone in tips at 866-730-TIPS. And registration is now open for the 6th annual Crime Stoppers Golf Outing, Saturday, September 19th at the Shamrock Golf Course in Oriskany. Call Anna for registration forms at 315-269-3924.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, we are back. First News Keeler in the morning, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM. So we're talking about raises for elected officials. Obviously, we talked to Utica Councilperson Katie Aiello about that on the show yesterday. And Steve, we were talking during the break. It's possible state lawmakers could be looking at a pay increase because in New York City, they voted to give themselves a pretty healthy pay hike.
They did, and there's a story on the New York Post that since they gave themselves a pay raise, of course, it begs itself to ask the question, what is the state Senate going to do about it in the Assembly? And Hesty didn't poo-poo it. He said, well, I'm all for them making more money. They spend 6 months away from their family. And I don't know how much sympathy they're going to get from the average taxpayer when considering how much money they make already. So, but yeah, he didn't take it off the table. From what I saw, there's no resolution yet. But right now, New York City council people make more than them. So prior to this last raise, they were the highest paid. In 2022, they raised their salaries.
So I didn't realize this. It says the New York City Council voted 42-6. I didn't realize they had 48 members on the city council.
That's big.
An 18%, actually more than 18% pay increase for elected officials. And now they make, what do you think they make? Do you know what it is?
I didn't look at the number.
It's now $175,000 a year.
That's good money.
Which, again, cost of living is different down there.
No doubt.
But that's...
but how many of them, that's their only job?
That's a chunk. Yeah, no, right. Are you saying you think they have multiple jobs?
Sure, absolutely.
Mayor Mamdani is set to make $305,000, although he and Speaker Julie Menon have publicly rejected the pay increase.
Both millionaires, by the way.
I don't think that means they won't take it. It just means they're publicly rejecting it. I guess we'll see if they take it or not. That's New York City, though. I'm looking for the state Senate and Assembly. Let's see, New York State Assembly salary. I think it's like 142. I thought it was in the 120s. And then New York State Senate, I think it's in the 180s. New York State Senate salary. Oh no, it's also 142. I didn't realize it was exactly the same.
It just seems to me, and I know this sounds maybe a little bit odd, but the money itself is a little bit inconsequential. My concern is the process by which they vote themselves salaries. It's a bit nuts that elected officials have the authority to give themselves raises. Because let's be honest, what really happens is the people that are facing re-election, when they know it's a guarantee the pay raise is going to go through, they vote no against it because it makes them look good, knowing full well that it's going to get voted in anyway, and it's really a non-vote is what it is.
Well, so it's interesting because what we talked about yesterday on the show was that, like, it was 1983 or 1987 that in the city of Utica they voted that it would be contingent on basically inflation. I think the consumer price index.
Which I'm fair with that. I understand as elected officials they don't have contracts like every city worker. I have no problem with that. If they had a contract where you had pay raise schedule, I would have no issue with that. But this, voting here and voting there, because if it was static across the board, the city can prep for pay raises and contracts. They can say, okay, next year we know we got to pay the fire department 4% and the police are 5%, whatever it is. But with this just being able to vote in whenever you want, put them in a pay schedule. Listen, this is what your pay raise is going to be moving forward for the next 10 years. If you're on the council, this is what your salary. I have no problem with them getting pay raises. My problem is the way that it goes about doing it. I would rather see a regular schedule, almost like a contract built up for them.
It's always a bad look anytime elected officials get a pay raise and there's a tax increase, right?
That's the problem. That's why if you built a schedule in, it could be built into the basically the whole budget for the city or the county or whatever. Like they deserve to get pay raises. I mean they do a job. Everybody right. Inflation. I'm not saying they shouldn't get raises. I just think it should be more uniformed.
Some comments here via the WIBX 950 mobile app. Are we on YouTube today? Let's see. John in Deerfield, I believe, says school going back is entirely due to the days off. They have to go 180 days to meet funding requirements, and with all the days off and snow days, you have to start earlier. He says, I'm with you about extended holidays. Thanksgiving starts on Tuesday now, and we were lucky to get a half a day Wednesday. Winter break is extra days starting December 23rd-ish this year. Juneteenth was added. Spring break does not align with other holidays, and none of this even covers half days and early dismissal. That's true as well. The schedule is incredibly disruptive for working parents. That is from John in Deerfield. And again, I wonder how many people are going to be caught off guard by the earlier start date.
I was
a Labor Day vacation,
and that's what happened with me, is trying to plan a little something, and then all of a sudden looked at the dates. I'm like, what happened here? Because I totally thought it would be September 8th, the Labor Day being the 7th. Totally thrown off 5 days earlier.
Yeah, I have to wonder though, how many people will just say, you know what, we're gonna go ahead with whatever plan we had, if they were caught off guard by it this year, and the kids might miss a day or two to start the school year.
My guess is there'd be a fair amount of people that would do that. If you have trips planned, if you've maybe made deposits on trips, and your kid going back on a Wednesday, Thursday, only to be off on Monday, I could totally see why parents would want to skip those first couple days.
Yeah. I had a situation last year where we had a family wedding that was out of state, and so it was like the second day of school. I had to take my son out for that. But again, it was like, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Of course, one always hopes anyway. But to be able to go to the wedding, with family there, and I guess my take was at that time, it's the second day. They're all important, don't get me wrong, that's what I'm saying, but how consequential would the second day be? So, we had to do what we had to do, right? It's coming up on 7:25. We'll check in with Councilperson Samantha Colosimo Testa. I might have got the time wrong, Smitty. It's First News Keeler in the morning, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
This is Dan from Acme Pool and Spa on Commercial Drive in New Hartford, across from Texas Roadhouse. Get years of summer fun for you and your family with a new above-ground pool starting at just $89.99 installed. You can take advantage of our 0% in-house financing. We can have your new pool installed in about 10 days. Don't let the summer pass you by. If an in-ground pool is your dream, the experts at Acme will guide you through the process. There's nothing better than enjoying summer in your backyard with an in-ground pool. Don't miss out on our midsummer sale with above-ground pools starting at $89.99, installed within about 10 days with our in-house 0% financing. Or let the experts at Acme guide you through selecting a custom in-ground pool, choosing from steel or fiberglass options. That's Acme Pool and Spa on Commercial Drive in New Hartford, and our midsummer pool sale going on now. We do the work, you just enjoy.
Clearing out your home or commercial building, John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation will handle it for you. We handle residential or any size commercial property, before and after estate sale cleanouts, or any junk removal service. John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation is a 5-star rated and background checked business, providing service you can count on, and we're fully insured in the industry. Call John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation today and take the stress out of your mess.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is an America 250 Minute brought to you by Oneida County America 250 Commission. I'm Leslie Rainey, Regent of Oneida Chapter Daughters of the American Revolution.
And I'm Alexis Albright, historian for Oneida County and the village of Oriskany. William Williams was a signer of the Declaration of Independence from Connecticut, and a dedicated patriot who spent much of his life serving his community and country. He was born on April 8, 1731 in Lebanon, Connecticut, and graduated from Harvard College in 1751. After completing his education, he served in the 7 Years' War and later became a successful merchant. In 1771, he married Mary Trumbull, daughter of Royal Governor of Connecticut Jonathan Trumbull, the only colonial governor to take up the patriot cause. William and Mary had 3 children. Williams was deeply involved in public affairs and represented Connecticut in legislative government for over 6 decades. As the conflict with Great Britain intensified, he strongly supported the rights of the American colonies. In 1776, he was elected to the Continental Congress to fill a vacancy and joined the delegates in signing the Declaration of Independence. He was 45 years old. Known for his strong faith and commitment to civic duty, Williams believed that freedom required both virtue and responsibility. He continued to serve Connecticut and the new nation throughout the Revolutionary period, helping to guide the young republic during its formative years. William Williams died in 1811 at the age of 80, making him one of the longer-lived signers of the Declaration. Today, he is remembered as a thoughtful statesman, soldier, and patriot whose signature helped secure the birth of the United States, and whose lifelong service strengthened the nation he helped create. William Williams, Connecticut signer of the Declaration of Independence.
And we want you to love the history where you live.
People of all ages can experience any level of discomfort for knee pain, hip pain, back pain, and you know what? It could be stemming from your feet. This is Bill Keeler. The Good Feet Store is here to help, and there are so many that swear by these inserts that go into your shoes and make all the difference in the world when it comes to pain. It's a 3-step system. Strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers. They're a whole program that you follow, and it could very well change your life when it comes to pain. It's called the Good Feet Store. No obligation. You can walk right in for a free fitting and test walk. No appointment is needed. You can walk right in. They're located now in New Hartford at 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford. Get directions, make an appointment if you like, ask questions, 315-999-3910. It's the Good Feet Store, 315-999-3910.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, it is First News Keeler in the morning, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM. Excuse me. You were showing me during the break a video you shot on your phone, and I bring this up because Tropical Storm Bertha is, I guess, potentially going to be a hurricane, is going to be a hurricane, but is currently a tropical storm. And I know it's not supposed to do, I don't think it's supposed to do too much to Florida, but you recently had, there was a tornado. You captured part of a tornado, or the help me out here.
The preamble, if you will.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I was down in Florida last week, and this time of year, if you live down there, you know what it's like. It's electrical storms, crazy, and every single night for a week straight, there was some sort of storm that came through, electrical storm, and they pop up. Just these tornadoes just pop up. They're not like hurricanes, of course. And so I was out back taking a video of it, and I could see the funnel cloud forming, but I'm like, geez, I don't know if it's going to be a tornado. And sure enough, next morning I saw about less than a mile from me, there was a tornado that, so you have down there, you have these land spouts and you have water spouts. The water spouts come off the water, land spouts start and move out. So this started as a land spout, and which is just another type of tornado, and it didn't cause a lot of damage, just enough. But if you've never seen one before, ever been around one, it can be a little scary. I've been in a few of them, so I wasn't too upset by it. But if you've never been around them, it can be a little much. 70, 80 mile an hour winds.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the devastation they caused up here back-to-back years in the city of Rome, it was terrible. I remember being I was with FedEx at the time. The first one hit. I believe it was the first one. And I don't know, I just remember thinking to myself, so I'm in one of those big trucks, which is like one of the big bread trucks, and it's literally like rocking back and forth.
It's a brick on wheels.
Yeah. And I remember thinking to myself, because there was a power line that went down and then a tree branch went down right in front of me. So I'm on a road not far from the base in Rome, and I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here and wait it out. And then I'm thinking to myself, should I get out of the truck? Because the truck was rocking around. And then I thought to myself, well, if it can throw this truck, it can certainly throw me.
We have a name for people like that.
Stay in the truck.
We have a name for people like that. They're called victims. Yes. Stay in your truck and don't park under a bridge. Okay, that's where you don't. You stay away from.
I was afraid that the truck was going to start tumbling down the road with me inside.
Yeah, so you don't park under bridges, which is another thing people do in a tornado or hurricane. Don't do that, and stay in your vehicle. One of my daughter's favorite shows, I don't know if you've ever seen it, it's on Discovery. It's called In the Eye of the Storm. It's pretty fascinating. What they did was they created a show around cell phone footage. So when they have these natural disasters, what they do is they reach into these communities, and the entire show is centered around a particular disaster, so a tornado or a hurricane. But all the footage are cell phone footage or dash cam footage from that incident. They don't do anything else, and it's fascinating because they have the people that shoot the footage tell the story. and you see it firsthand as if it's happening to you. It's quite it's one of my favorite shows. It's fascinating to watch.
Our man Uncle Smitty on YouTube, they say if Davey had a talk show, it would be called what? Be called what? DJ Davey? What would it be called? I can't find it here. I just had it up. Did somebody delete it? Davey, anyway, what's on your mind this morning?
Nothing.
Well, so Scooter Bowl says, well, they let Davey talk today. He's the man who runs the show. My buddy Davey is a walking book of knowledge. Somebody said something about a NASCAR show, but I don't see the comment now. Oh, if he had his own show. No, I guess I don't see it now. Anyway, nothing on your mind today? Jazz Chisholm is on fire.
Yes, only for one game, though.
Well, he's got 3 homers in the last 2 games. I guess it's easy to do when you have 2 in the last game.
Will it carry on for the rest of the week? He could go 0 for 20 if he wanted to.
Are you worried about the Red Sox?
As another fellow Yankee fan in this studio, are you concerned about the Red Sox? I am a little.
I am not.
You're not?
No.
Okay.
No.
14 straight. That could be the start of something beautiful.
But there is talk about. I was telling Steve before we started. The trade deadline's coming up in August, the first week of August, and the Yankees are rumored to get Mason Miller from the Padres. But here's the names that are being thrown around, Jeff: Spencer Jones, Jason Dominguez.
Okay.
Spencer Jones just came up and did all right for filling in for Aaron Judge. But as Steve said, he doesn't like his stance in the batter cage.
That's my only issue with him. But that guy brings a lot to the field.
Sure
He's
does.
the fastest Yankee on the field. He's faster than anybody. He closes on the ball so fast in the out. He's got a good arm. I think if he could clean up his batting stance a little bit, he could be one of the best in the league. But I don't want to see him go. Dominguez, I wouldn't be too upset with.
So part of the deal, names being thrown around are Spencer Jones, Dominguez, a couple minor leaguers down in the system. But they're also all these experts saying, oh, yeah, the Yankees are going to get Tarek Skubal from the Detroit Tigers. Tarek Skubal is not coming to the Yankees. I will tell you that right now. They are not going to get him because the Tigers want farm prospects, and the Yankees are building the prospects up, but they don't have the core that the Tigers will want for Tarek Skubal. Probably the Dodgers are going to get Tarek Skubal, but the dark horse I'm hearing are the Milwaukee Brewers because they have the talent in the farm system that can supply the future for the Detroit Tigers.
Man, I'll tell you, Major League is the haves and have-nots. It used to be the Yankees got everything. It seems like the Dodgers get everybody, don't they? Everybody.
Well, whenever you're winning like that, people want to be part of a winning team. How long before the Mets do the yard sale? Everybody's on the block.
I'm ready for it to begin. As a matter of fact, I think
we were talking yesterday.
Multiple team officials have been quoted as saying, make us a deal, make us an offer, including Lindor.
You were talking yesterday with the fellow Mets fans about Francisco Lindor possibly getting traded.
Yeah, I think everybody except Soto could possibly be dealt. That includes Trevor Siemian, which obviously that's going to be a team looking for a solid veteran player. He's got a big contract
Marcus
for a guy.
Semien.
What did I say? Trevor Siemian? Yeah, I'm sorry, Marcus Semien. I don't know. They just got Bichette, but I don't think anybody other than Soto is untradeable. And I wonder if they could get somebody to eat the contract if they would trade Soto. I highly, highly doubt that they would, but I guess you never know.
But if Soto gets traded, doesn't he have to approve the deal?
Yeah, he probably does.
Have to waive the right. There was talk yesterday that I've seen when we got back from our little thing that we did yesterday that the Mets officials talked to Carlos Beltran, the new future Hall of Famer who's going to be inducted to the Hall of Fame this weekend, that they offered him the Mets intern position before they offered it to Andy Green, but he declined it.
Well, and I understand. I mean, remember, the Mets hired him to be the manager, and then the whole scandal broke with the Astros, and then he wasn't the manager anymore. If I were him, I'd have a bad taste about at least being part of the Mets brass. That's That's tough. You get a job and then you lose a job quick. Although I wonder, he was really at the center of that whole cheating thing with the Astros.
Well, he was, but a couple of things. I'm not a Beltran fan, but he was a player, and none of the other players suffered any consequences.
Right.
The active guys. The managers, you had Cora that took the heat, and then you had the other manager there.
I can't think of his name. off the top of my
I
head.
forget. But he took the heat as well. Beltran seemed to take the most punishment for it, and he was a player at the time. So I look and say, you didn't punish any other players. Why him? So I don't know. I think that, and I'm not saying he would have been good for the Mets. I'm just saying that it seemed like his punishment was a little bit extreme compared to the other players.
Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we'll be joined by Blake Gendabine, Democratic candidate for New York's 21st Congressional District. A question or a comment? Yes?
I just got clarification. He will be calling in a couple minutes.
Okay, awesome. If you have a question or a comment, you can send it to us via the WIBX 950 mobile app or just comment on our YouTube stream, and hopefully Smitty or I will find it and dig it out. It is 7:37. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Thank you, Smitty. 71 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. President Trump will be at Dover Air Force Base today when the remains of 2 U.S. soldiers killed in Iranian attacks in Jordan over the weekend return home. The attacks also left another soldier missing. It comes as the Pentagon says nearly 100 U.S. service members have been injured in the past 2 weeks amid the ongoing conflict with Iran. Tropical storm Bertha is moving closer to the Gulf Coast. The latest update from the National Hurricane Center puts the storm about 110 miles south-southwest of Panama City, Florida, heading northwest with maximum sustained winds of 50 miles an hour. 5 people dead after an effort to save a struggling swimmer quickly ended in tragedy in the state of Ohio. They were hanging out Sunday along the Scioto River in Powell outside of Columbus when one of them went in the water and needed assistance. 2 others then went in to help, but they started struggling as well. And then 2 more in the group went in to help. All 5 ended up dying in the water. Darlene Graham is throwing her hat in the ring, announcing a bid to become the full-term senator for South Carolina. She told Fox News yesterday that she's all in to run for the seat, she was appointed to following the recent death of her brother, longtime Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. A federal judge in San Francisco signing off on Anthropic's agreement to pay $1.5 billion in a settlement to authors and book publishers who sued over copyright infringement. It's believed to be the largest class action settlement in the history of U.S. copyright law. And soccer drama continues to unfold days after the World Cup final. FIFA officially launching a wide-ranging disciplinary probe after Sunday's shocking post-game melee between Argentina and Spain. Severe player bans and heavy federation fines are expected following the investigation. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:40. Here's your forecast.
A front is going to result in windy and wet conditions today with showers and thunderstorms from this morning to the afternoon with a high of 83 as winds gust up out of the south. More rain tonight down to 62, and then a windy and cooler Wednesday tomorrow with scattered thunderstorms at a high of 73. Clearing will take place on Thursday as the high reaches 76. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton. When you've worked hard to build something meaningful, protecting it should be part of your plan. At Hilton Estate and Elder Law, we help families navigate the complexities that come with significant assets, especially estate taxes and long-term care considerations. We break down the implications, explore smart strategies, and help reduce future tax exposure and nursing home costs. Because no 2 families are alike, every plan is tailored to fit your situation.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
We all like convenience, right? ATMs, takeout food, drive-through pharmacies. Now, Bremer's is making it just as convenient to enjoy your favorite wines and spirits with Bremer's to go. It's simple. Place your order at bremerswineandliquor.com. Or save $5 on your first order with our mobile app. Order during store hours for pickup within an hour. Hey, you can even call us when you get to the store and we'll bring your order right out and load it in the car for you. Now that's convenience. Maybe you're planning a party. Maybe you want to stock up on your favorite wines. Or you just want to save time when you're out and about. Whatever the reason, at Bremer's, we're all about incredible customer service. So when you're on the go, we are too. Order at bremerswineandliquor.com or save $5 with our mobile app. Order during store hours for pickup within an hour. It's Bremer's to go, available 7 days a week from Bremer's Wine and Liquor on Commercial Drive in New Hartford.
Today, we tip our wrench to Rock Auto customer Dylan.
I actually used to manage a parts department for a car dealership, and we would get stuff from Rock Auto if I couldn't get it from my dealership suppliers. You pick the year, you go through all the drop-down menus, and it just makes it really easy to navigate and see what you want. Like a wheel bearing, for instance, for a Corvair that I have. Rock Auto's catalog made it really easy to find that specific one that I was looking for.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
For a number of reasons, Sarah's Flooring Outlet should be on the top of your list for any of your flooring needs. This is Bill Keeler. Reason number one, Sarah's has the area's largest inventory in stock and plenty for you to choose from. Reason number two, Sarah's offers the best in quality floor covering. Top name brands like Shaw, Mohawk, Coratec, Mannington, and there are so many others. Reason number three, Sarah's will meet or beat any locally advertised price. Reason number four, it's service. Decades of experience, starting with Sal and Sarah and everybody, the entire team. You get unbeatable service at Sarah's Flooring Outlet. And remember, you can get 6 months interest-free financing for qualified buyers in Sarah's Flooring Outlet. Unrivaled service and experience, all at an affordable price. Now you see why more people buy from the big store. Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy, and Sarah's Flooring Outlet.com.
92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, we are back. First News, Keeler in the morning, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM. We're about to be joined by Blake Gendebien, a candidate for Congress. The attack ads have already begun for sure. And I'm on a website here. We will allow Mr. Gendebien to respond to some of this. This is obviously a website that was put up by the Constantino campaign. Boy, these headphones are driving me nuts this morning. Put up by the Constantino campaign. It says, in the Library of Congress interview, Blake Gendebien exposed his contempt for the very upstate and North Country workers that he now wants to represent. He smeared local workers as unreliable drunks with domestic abuse, wage garnishment, custody, child support, and court problems, saying it was hard to find one local person without issues and that 3 Hispanic employees would have to be replaced by 6 locals. He admitted that he was not obligated to e-verify his workers, discussing bailing one of them out from the Border Patrol for $10,000, and he even mocked corrections officers as lacking self-worth in their jobs. Now, the entire audio file that this refers to is not here, but there are clips of it. And Smitty, if we can pull this up, and like I say, when we talk to candidate Gendebien coming up in just a few minutes, we'll give him a chance to respond to this. This is audio again in a Library of Congress interview. So I think that's Mr. Gendebien on the phone with us right now. Obviously a hotly contested race for New York's 21st Congressional District. They're looking to replace
Elise Stefanik.
Thank you. Elise Stefanik in the 21st Congressional District. I'm sorry, as I was talking, I was trying to hear what Smitty was saying on the phone to see if Mr. Gendebien was going to be on the phone with us. And I think he is with us right now. So, Blake Gendebien, candidate for the 21st Congressional District. Oh, you hung up on him? All right, hang on. We're getting him back on the line now. All right, Smitty, no big deal. I believe we have him now. Good morning, Blake Gendebien. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Very good. North Country farmer, obviously running in New York's 21st Congressional District. Let's get. I want to talk a bit about some of the attacks launched by your opponent. He's coming out swinging here and saying a lot of things He did a pretty good job, I think, of repositioning his opponent in the primary, and I think he's trying to do that with you. But first, let's get an update from the campaign trail and what's going on in your corner.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a very healthy primary win. We won decisively, and I had a good conversation with Stuart, my primary opponent. We're going to work together to have a real positive campaign and build a coalition from the middle, which is where I am, and I really appreciate his support. We've continued to crisscross the district and meet people, work incredibly hard, talk about what people really care about, like saving rural health care. We've got Claxon Hepburn and Carthage in Ogdensburg, and Carthage with that hospital losing, especially Claxon Hepburn, losing the labor and delivery section, which is a really serious issue. So we're focused on saving our rural health care. We're focused on doing the things that we're going to need to do to lower costs for farmers and families in the North Country. We want to focus on rebuilding that relationship with Ontario and Quebec, which is so important to upstate New York and the North Country. So we are straight out and laser focused. That's what's going on here.
What is the importance of that relationship? Is it a trade thing, or is you just talking about the two communities?
It's both. It is absolutely both. So when we have these trade disagreements, citizens of Ontario and Quebec, they just don't want to come across the border. They're not inclined to shop in Ogdensburg. They're not inclined to go down to Rome for the Bocce Ball World Series. They're not inclined to vacation in the Adirondacks. And that doesn't hurt just one side of the aisle. That hurts both sides of the aisle. And so I can't be more clear in how I am going to fight for the success of everybody in the North Country. I personally am sick of Team Blue and Team Red. It's time for Team Upstate New York, Team North Country, and let's get to work. I want to be that guy, that face, that advocate who makes sure that Chobani is successful in Rome, who makes sure that the St. Lawrence Seaway is busy and ships are stopping at the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority, who makes sure that Plattsburgh remains the business suburb of Montreal and that businesses keep coming. We haven't had an advocate like that for a long time, and if you're not from here, you don't get it. So that's what we're working on. This is not a divisive campaign. I'm not going to spend the next 3 months just ripping on my opponent. I'm going to spend the next 3 months focused on what's good for people in the North Country.
He is spending some time ripping on you, and I saw an ad on television this morning. I took a couple notes on what it said. $10,000 to bail out illegal immigrants. It says hates American workers. There was some audio, and can you verify, is that you on the tape? It says it was from the Library of Congress, an interview, and there's some clips on this website, BlakeExposed.com, obviously something that the Constantino campaign has put out there.
Oh, sure. It is some really, really silly stuff. And what I would say is the North Country knows that I am the right candidate to win this race, and Anthony's going to do whatever it takes to mischaracterize things that I said in an interview that was about the struggles of farming in the North Country. I think 5 farmers were interviewed almost 15 years ago. And so, I was in a different place. I was in a spot. I'm not a politician, and I wasn't a politician 15 years ago. If people want canned, perfect answers from candidates from the age of 5, they're going to have a really tough time. So I'm going to focus on, they're just trying to make sure that the North Country doesn't have somebody who really cares about it representing it. And they're going to do whatever it takes. But I am focused on things that really matter.
You said this interview was about 15 years ago. When was it conducted? Where was it conducted? And you are saying that was you on tape.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. That was 15 years ago on the farm. They did it on 4 or 5 different farms. And so the mischaracterization of the quotes. You can't take a 1.5 hour interview and do 3 or 4 3-second quotes and expect people to really understand what the story is about. And I was a struggling young farmer with a small family, and I was sharing my experiences. What it shows is that Anthony has no idea what it's like to be a farmer. These are shared experiences of farmers that I have from Saratoga Springs all the way to St. Lawrence County, over to Plattsburgh, and down to Rome. And it is an example of how Washington has completely forgotten us. And I understand what we need. Washington doesn't understand the struggles that small businesses and farms go through. And I want to be that voice of experience and common sense that can deliver for my friends and family and small businesses and farmers and union workers in the North Country and upstate New York.
I want to read a couple of the comments here and give you a chance to respond to them, whether or not you still feel that way, or if you could contextualize what it was you were trying to convince when you were part of this interview or this interview series. This one in particular about corrections officers. We hire a corrections officer. This is the quote. This is how they have you quoted. They don't have much self-worth in their jobs as a correction officer, so they'll work extra time. What was that question in regard to, and what were you trying to convey? Do you remember?
Exactly, yeah. So I have a lot of friends that are corrections officers, and I do wish I had used another word. 15 years ago, I wasn't polished. I'm not a politician now. I wasn't a politician then, and I wish I had used gratification. So when I'm working with my friends who are corrections officers, they're incredibly handy and great guys that working on sheetrock, great guys that work on siding, great guys that put up sheet metal on our barns. And they're always telling me how much they enjoy these jobs. And that is what I was trying to say. I was actually complimenting these guys, these friends of mine who have provided so much value for my farm and my business and other families and homes around the district. When they do plumbing jobs or sheetrock or siding or home construction. I mean, that's what I was trying to portray and how much they enjoy that work.
There's one here about...
If you listen to the whole thing, it makes way more sense.
One of the quotes that's featured here, again, as far as I know, these guys are legal. I'm not obligated to check. I'm not obligated to e-verify. So I assume as a farmer, these were workers that you had hired. But I guess the bottom line question is, were you in compliance with the law?
Absolutely. All farmers in the North Country follow the law. We have to fill out the same forms for everybody. We treat all employees the same. And the issue is, and every farmer knows that in upstate New York and the North Country, that Washington has completely failed us. We need common sense immigration reform. We need to secure the border. We need to deport violent criminals who are here illegally with due process. But we also need to streamline the legal process so that we can have the secure legal workforce that we need to deliver affordable food from the farm gate all the way to the dinner plate. And if we don't have that, food costs will continue to rise. Because when you don't have the labor that you need, you're not as efficient. And you can't produce whatever it is, whether it's food or homes or whatever widget you're making, you're going to have inefficiencies that result in costs that are passed along to the end consumer. Common sense immigration reform, the ag industry needs a guest worker program, especially in livestock, that is more than 6 months so that we can train people properly and get the work done and deliver food at an affordable price. It's all about lowering costs.
So I see Senator Schumer held, I want you to react to this, held a press conference yesterday outside of a grocery store in Auburn. He said he's trying to push through a bill about lowering grocery store costs, but I wonder if you agree with his approach and his logic here. He says he wants to create more competition by breaking up monopolies in the meat industry. The bill would replace limitations on how many different kinds of meat companies can sell. in order to ensure their prices don't become, quote, out of control. Schumer mentioned things like price gouging needs to be investigated and monitored. He says money in this bill would also be would also be invested into farming, with some farmers receiving little pay from big companies for the meat that they produce. Can you talk about the meat situation and what your understanding is, if you have an understanding of that bill?
So I have not seen that bill yet, but I am supportive of reducing the opportunity for businesses to price gouge. But what I will tell you is right now, the farmers in upstate New York and the North Country are benefiting from healthy beef prices. And it is one of the things that are keeping our farms alive. We are getting paid record highs for beef on our farms. And it is because there is a record low supply of beef cows in the United States, and there's record high demand, which is fantastic. I love beef. I love my friends and family love beef. I'm thrilled that people are enjoying real protein from around the district, and so I could really get into this and nerd out. There are so few beef cows in the United States that the industry is using dairy cows. So we're breeding our cows to beef studs so that we land beef cows, and then they leave the farm right away and they go to growers that can raise them up to be beef in the future, because there just aren't enough beef mama cows out there. So we're helping supply that industry. And I'm extremely proud of what's going on in upstate New York and the North Country as a way for us to diversify our business with dairy and beef and many other things.
What can you say about the situation with Iran, what's going on there, and how it's impacting farmers upstate?
Oh, man. Yeah. So, like I said before, we can all agree that we don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. That's just a non-starter. But these conflicts that are reckless, we don't seem to be prepared with a plan. They create uncertainty, and all it does is drive up costs. And this administration said, hey, we're not going to get into forever wars. We're not going to get into conflicts that drive up costs. We're going to focus on what's going on in, specifically to us, upstate New York and the North Country. And we're going to make sure that we drive down costs for veterans, for seniors, for hardworking families. And this has done anything but that. And I am super proud of the fact that rural America, rural districts just like ours, make up only 16% of the population, yet almost 50% of our military recruits every single year come from rural America. And Congress needs to assert its war powers authority before any more of our young men and women in service are injured or even killed. And at the same time, we're driving up costs. You asked me specifically about agriculture. Well, it's not just about agriculture. It's about that mom or dad who drives 60 miles to work, 60 miles home, then their son or daughter forgets something at school. They got to drive 10 miles to school, 10 miles home, and then they want to watch that basketball game.
Yeah.
And they drive another 50 miles to the basketball game, and before you know it, they're doing 200 miles.
We're about to get cut off.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 From the WB Tain Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
Another night and day of U.S. and Iran attacks. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's from the 10th straight night of American bombing in Iran. U.S. Central Command posted video of the airstrikes hitting command centers, air defense and missile and drone launch sites. And as Fox's Jonathan Savage reports, Iran retaliated again.
The Kuwaiti government says crucial power and desalination plants have been damaged by Iran's latest attack. It's the fourth day in a row in which Kuwaiti infrastructure has come under fire. Iran's also targeted U.S. military sites in Bahrain and Jordan, and another fuel tanker's been hit in the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, Pakistan is trying to get peace efforts back on track. It's hosting Iran's interior minister for talks to salvage the crumbling interim deal
President Trump posted on Truth Social, every time Iran kills an American soldier, they'll pay for that killing many times over. 3 U.S. troops died in an Iranian attack in Jordan last week, another killed in Iraq Saturday. Later this morning, another part of the conflict to be addressed when Lebanon's president goes to the White House, where Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
Lebanon's military is moving into what is called pilot zones in the country's south as part of a deal negotiated with the Trump administration and Israel. Under the agreement, Lebanon's military will assume control of security in some villages, ensuring Hezbollah does not have a presence as part of a broader Israeli withdrawal. President Trump has put pressure on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to wind down strikes inside Lebanon.
Now, the president's also turning up the trade tension with Canada, imposing 50% tariffs on many Canadian imports that will go into effect in a month, retaliating to Canada's tariffs on American products like dairy and alcohol that were in retaliation to initial Trump tariffs. Tropical storm Bertha very slowly churning south of Florida's panhandle as it moves toward land, maybe Thursday in Louisiana. Could flood coastal areas.
Here on Lake Pontchartrain in New Orleans, we could see 1 to 3 feet of storm surge.
That's Fox Weather's Brandy Campbell. America's listening to Fox News.
If you haven't switched to Pure Talk because you're not sure their coverage is every bit as reliable as Big Wireless, why not take them for a test drive? For a limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited data plan. No contracts, no commitments, just a great deal on a high-speed network with unlimited data from an American wireless company. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Born on America's darkest day, September 11th, 01, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, they have been helping American heroes ever since. Heroes like U.S. Army Sergeant William Bernard McKenna, exposed to burn pits. McKenna later died from T-cell lymphoma, leaving his wife, Dina, and 2 daughters. Tunnel to Towers honored Sergeant McKenna. They paid off the family's mortgage in honor of all of his sacrifice. Donate $11 a month. If you have a car to donate, if you have land to donate, go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org today.
It is primary day in Arizona, where the polls will open in an hour.
Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs, a Democrat, is running for re-election, and Republicans are hoping to pick up the seat. Republican Congressman Andy Biggs, Congressman David Schweikert, and 2 businessmen are vying for the chance to challenge Hobbs. Biggs has been endorsed by President Trump as well as Turning Point Action. Since Schweikert is running in the gubernatorial primary, several Republicans are running to replace him in the 1st District, including Trump-backed former NFL kicker Jay Feely. And in the state's 4th District, 4-term incumbent Democratic Congressman Greg Stanton faces a far-left challenge from a self-described Democratic socialist who has criticized Stanton for supporting Israel. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
In South Carolina, a filing period opens today for Republicans who want to run for Senate in the special primary next month to replace late Senator Lindsey Graham as the nominee. His sister Darlene, who was appointed to the Senate to fill out the rest of his current term, wants to run, telling Fox's Hannity.
Will it be difficult? Yes, absolutely.
So you're inclined to get in, or have you even made a final decision?
I've made a decision.
You're in.
I'm in.
Senator Darlene Graham says her brother worked so hard for so long she can't let that work die. 2 more successful appeals in Michigan, and the plot targeting Michigan's governor.
A state appeals court set aside the convictions of Pete Musico and Paul Bellar on technical grounds after the court said kidnapping is not an underlying violent felony that can support a conviction under Michigan's terrorism law. Another co-defendant's conviction was thrown out last month. The 3 men were not charged with having a direct role in the plot to kidnap Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer, but they had been members of a paramilitary group.
That's Fox's Lisa Lacera. On Wall Street, rising stock futures suggest gains at the opening bell, up more than 100 points for the Dow, over 300 for the NASDAQ. In baseball, the Boston Red Sox won their 14th straight game, beating Baltimore 6-5. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
A front is going to result in windy and wet conditions today with showers and thunderstorms from this morning to the afternoon with a high of 83 as winds gust up out of the south. More rain tonight down to 62, and then a windy and cooler Wednesday tomorrow with scattered thunderstorms at a high of 73. Clearing will take place on Thursday as the high reaches 76. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, back. First news, Keeler in the morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. We are streaming live on YouTube as well. We are on the phone, and thanks for sticking around for a couple of extra minutes. Blake Gendamine, candidate in New York's 21st Congressional District. So, before we let you go, a couple of other things I wanted to ask you. Did you want to finish up the point you were making, though, when we ran out of time at the end of last hour?
No, I think the main point when you asked about our race is that we are polling neck and neck, and in the informed vote, we're a +9, which is part of the reason why you're going to see so many outrageous attacks on us, because we're winning, and the North Country and upstate New York knows we're actually going to represent them the way that they should be, and I do care about each veteran, each senior, each hardworking family.
Trump has obviously endorsed your opponent. Not a huge surprise, but his favorability numbers are down, and I wonder what they're like in the North Country. Do you think the endorsement from Trump helps you or hurts you?
Well, I think that the issue is, in primaries, that endorsement is very helpful, but in general elections, it's a different story. And we're in a general election right now. And I sound like I'm really beating the drum here, but what people in the North Country, seniors, veterans, hardworking families, really are concerned with are opportunities to lower cost, save our rural health care, and they want someone who will work with anybody to get those things done. That's why the red team, blue team thing is just not getting anywhere. It's not getting any traction. Remember, 1 in 3 households in the North Country are union households. These are hardworking families that want opportunities for business, want opportunities for their schools to stay open where they work, want opportunities to renovate factories, have more development, more jobs. That's what this campaign is all about. And I mentioned before, I want to be that advocate for the legacy infrastructure in Messina. When a company wants to come there and take advantage of the rail, the seaway, the natural gas, the affordable power, we need to have somebody that will help drive that investment and make it come true. And that's what I'm so excited about.
Do you agree with Hochul's ban on the data center moratorium that's in place for 1 year? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I think it is okay that this technology, this issue has come up so fast that I think it's a good idea to take a step back and make sure that we have all the information we need from Rome over to Plattsburgh and Glens Falls over to Lisbon, New York, and protect our communities. These can be an opportunity, but we need to make it so that we don't take advantage of our local communities. They have to lower electricity costs for the average payer. They have to bring in revenue for roads and infrastructure and school districts and towns and cities. That's what we have to make sure we're prepared to provide for our communities. And we need to take care of our environment, make sure there's not a risk to the Adirondack Park or the St. Lawrence River, for example.
And then before we let you go, I think you're going to be in Rome soon, right?
Yeah, looking forward to it. We'll be on the parade this Saturday. And also, I'm really looking forward to the Bocce Ball World Series. We'll be down to see some of that, too. So super happy to come straight south into Rome.
Unfortunately, you did miss the tournament. Maybe you'll get a chance to check out the Tugalana Club, but the tournament was held.
We will definitely do that.
Over this past weekend, wrapping up Sunday. Blake Gendebine, thank you so much. Good luck.
You got it. Thank you, Jeff. We'll see you.
We'll talk to you again. That is Blake Gendebine, Democratic candidate for New York's 21st Congressional District. It'll be interesting to see how the North Country or that district itself reacts to his approach versus Constantino's approach. And as I said, I think Constantino did a really good job of repositioning Robert Smullen in the way he wanted people to perceive him.
He did, and we talked on during the break, and Gendebine's looking to flip a district who went very heavily for Elise Stefanik, and I suspect if Elise ran, she would win that handily. So what's unique about this case is I think in a district that both sides want to win, it's at least my take, it's one of the few that they're both novices. They don't have a record to run on, at least a political record. So I think we know how Constantino will vote. I don't think he's been any surprise there. I think Genevieve is trying to position himself as a moderate. If he does win, and will he stay that way? That's always my concern as a voter. Is they all say what they're going to do, and then they get there and they don't do the same. And I suspect if he were to win and he doesn't really truly stay a moderate, he'll be a one-term senator, because the people in North Country don't. I don't think they tend to lean towards Democrats. But I think anybody can win. It's just a question of whether you can stay there if you don't vote the way those people want.
A couple of other things that I saw on his website that we didn't give a chance to get into, but these are often hot topics. I seem to have lost them now, but one of the issues is term limits. It says on his website he's in favor of term limits. 3 House elections, suspend congressional pay during government shutdowns, require a 5-day work week for members of Congress. I don't know how you enforce that one. Ban members of Congress and their families from trading individual stocks. And he says, end the presidential pardon power, which would be an interesting one, which I don't think is going away anywhere.
No. The other stuff I could get along on board with most of that. The pardon, that won't happen.
Also require members to live in the district that they represent. That was one of the things, of course, right, with Hillary Clinton back however many years ago that was.
Was that a Utica City Common Council thing you were looking at there, or was that something different? Sorry, apologize. Yeah. Apologize, something different.
Speaking of Hillary Clinton, I had a chance, I think it was over the weekend. I don't know why, but it popped into my head, the old Charlie Seeley, Hillary Clinton rant. Why don't you do something? Oh, man, that's still legendary. He's still got the show going now. He looks like Santa Claus.
Once in a while, I will catch it. You flip the channel is it like Sunday mornings or something like that, Davey? I forget what it is, but it's on a very odd time.
Saturday or Sunday, I saw it on one of the local stations. And he's all white now, and he's got the beard. He kind of looks like he's got a little Santa Claus thing going on now. He's got a big, white, fluffy beard and mustache. We'll take a quick time out. Is that all right? Well, let's get to Joe quick. I don't want to make him wait through the break. Joe Malachi from the Tucalana Club in the city of Rome. Of course, the World Series of Bocce was going on last weekend, and we had a repeat champion with over 170 teams total, almost 130 teams in the Open division. Good morning.
Morning. Yeah, we had repeat champions in both the women's and the men's division.
Oh yeah.
We took different routes in getting there. The women's winner lost, I think, either their first or second game, and then had to make a long run through the losers bracket to get back to the finals. And then they had to defeat a local team, the Ale House, twice in order to win. And it came down to the very last ball of the second game, with the Ale House unfortunately missing the last point, and so it gave the victory to the Fatal Four out of Youngstown, Ohio.
And then
in the men's division,
yeah, it's like some restaurant, right? Some 4 guys from a restaurant in Pennsylvania, is it?
So yes, BSB stands for Big Shot Bob's. They're out of Coppell, Pennsylvania, and they're known for their wings. But they're a group of players that have been playing together for several years now, and they win several tournaments, not just the World Series. They've won all of the major tournaments, and they're a pretty formidable team.
Any ties to Rome other than the tournament?
No, none of the players there are local players. They're all out of either Youngstown or Ohio or Coppell, Pennsylvania, which I guess geographically they're pretty close. Southeastern Ohio and southwestern Pennsylvania.
Interesting. Everything went well this weekend?
Yeah, everything was great. We had really nice weather. I mean, we had a little bit of rain on Saturday afternoon, but that dissipated and turned into a really beautiful evening on Saturday. And so we had great crowds, great music, great food, great competition. The other team in the finals was a local team from Rome. Actually, my brother played on that team. And they also made a pretty deep run through the losers bracket. They lost on Saturday night and then had to win 6 games to get to the finals, and they beat some pretty big names to get there. Some former champions, at least 2 former champions, to get to that final game.
No kidding. So
it was pretty intense competition. It was fun.
I had a couple games in Rome on the base on Sunday, and some of the people there were talking about being there Saturday and Saturday night, and that it was a good time, and the food was excellent as always. And it's just a huge event. Is next year's date already?
We had last left and Isaac French there as well, so it's some really great musical entertainment too.
Is next year's date already set?
It's always the third weekend in July. I don't know the dates offhand, but if you're planning on coming out next year, just plan on taking off the third weekend in July.
So, and that's typically always the weekend immediately after Boilermaker, because it's always the second Sunday in July. So, all right, Joe Malachi, thank you so much. We appreciate you having us on Friday at the Tucalana Club, and another successful year of the World Series of Botch in Rome.
Great, thanks. We love having you every year. It's always a good time, and we hope that you're back again next year.
All right. Thank you. That is Joe Malachi from the Tucalana Club. A quick timeout. We'll come back with more. We still have to catch up with Utica Councilperson Samantha Colosimo Testa, and there's a big baseball game for the little guys going on today. Little League, the 10 to 12-year-old division, and there is a local team participating in it. We'll tell you about it coming up. It's First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
This is Dan from Acme Pool and Spa on Commercial Drive in New Hartford, across from Texas Roadhouse. Get years of summer fun for you and your family with a new above-ground pool starting at just $89.99 installed. You can take advantage of our 0% in-house financing. We can have your new pool installed in about 10 days. Don't let the summer pass you by. If an in-ground pool is your dream, the experts at Acme will guide you through the process. There's nothing better than enjoying summer in your backyard with an in-ground pool. Don't miss out on our midsummer sale with above-ground pools starting at $89.99 installed within about 10 days with our in-house 0% financing. Or let the experts at Acme guide you through selecting a custom in-ground pool, choosing from steel or fiberglass options. That's Acme Pool and Spa on Commercial Drive in New Hartford, and our midsummer pool sale going on now. We do the work, you just enjoy.
Hurt in a car? Call William Mattar, 315-444-4444.
Clearing out your home or commercial building, John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation will handle it for you. We handle residential or any size commercial property, before and after estate sale cleanouts or any junk removal service. John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation is a 5-star rated and background checked business, providing service you can count on, and we're fully insured in the industry. Call John's Cleanouts and Property Preservation today and take the stress out of your mess.
It's about how you feel when you walk through the doors and when you leave. That's Steep Pawnee Mazda on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. It's the Ricky Z way, right? It's the Steep Pawnee way. But beyond that, it's every single employee. They treat you with the respect, and they understand you're in there for a new vehicle or you're in there for service. It's all about the treatment. This is Bill Keeler. And right now, at Steep Pawnee Mazda, save on a new Mazda lease or enjoy 0.9% APR financing on a new 2026 Mazda CX-50 with 1.9% on CX-50 hybrids, 0.9% on the new 2026 Mazda CX-70 and CX-90, and 0% on PHEV models. See the dealership for details. As Rick says, come on in, let's look at the deals. Let's take care of you. How about 2.9% on a new 2026 Mazda CX-30 or CX-5? where it's always easy to do business. Steep Pawnee Mazda.
Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers is a simple, anonymous way to keep our neighborhood safe by reporting crimes anonymously. Cash incentives are available if the tip leads to an arrest. If you see something, say it here. MohawkValleyCrimeStoppers.com or phone in tips at 866-730-TIPS. And registration is now open for the 6th annual Crime Stoppers Golf Outing, Saturday, September 19th at the Shamrock Golf Course in Oriskany. Call Anna for registration forms at 315-269-3924.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, we are back. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Keeler on vacation. Mike Gentile is spending a lot of time on the road. Not only is he, and I don't want to conflate the two issues, but he's shaking a lot of hands lately, whether he's on someone's front porch or standing outside of a diamond in central New York. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. A big game going on today, right, for New Hartford?
Yes. New Hartford 10-12 Little League is in the sectional final. They played the first game of the double elimination championship series yesterday down in Scotia. Won that game 4-1, so they bring it back to New Hartford for the last game of the series, hoping weather shifts a little bit for later and we can get this game in.
So it's 1-1 now? It's a best-of-3 series?
No, it's double elimination. So New Hartford came out of the losers bracket. Yep. So yeah, it was a really good game yesterday, and the first time they played, it was a really good game. So this is it.
So was yesterday on the road? Was it away?
Yes, yesterday was in Scotia. Yep.
So today they come back to New Hartford to play. What time is it set to start?
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock start at New Hartford Little League at 8 Bonnie Lane.
And the winner goes where?
West Nyack Little League for the state tournament.
How many teams are in that?
8.
Oh, 8 teams. So the winner of today's game in New Hartford will be in the final 8 in New York State.
Yes.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
It's been a good tournament. It's been a good summer. A lot of good baseball throughout all the levels, and it's nice to see local teams doing well.
Yeah, I can imagine it's going to be a packed house. I want to encourage people to go out. It's pretty good baseball. It really is good baseball. And it's New Hartford and Scotia tonight. The winner advances to the state tournament with 8 teams in West Nyack. So certainly we'll be rooting on the local team for sure. Thank you, Mike.
Absolutely. Thank you.
A quick timeout. We'll talk with Samantha Colosimo Testa coming up in a minute. Smitty, let me hit a quick news update here. Go ahead. You can break first if you.
The summer sale is on at Mattress Express. Get a king for the price of a queen for the price of a full, and a full for the price of a twin. Ask how to get upgraded to an adjustable base for free. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Is your business the best at what you do? Then you should be a Central New York's industry ace. Our industry aces are made up of the best businesses in the region, and we'll help you tell your story to thousands of consumers in the Mohawk Valley. With a combination of on-air and online testimonial commercials, along with targeted social media ads that are guaranteed to reach the consumers you want to be talking to. And best of all, these messages are coming directly from you. Interested in learning more? Contact Megan Powers at 315-768-9500.
This is Bill Keeler, and I have to tell you, my family relies on New York Sash, and we have several times when it comes to home improvement, and so have so many members of our family. And right now, there's an awesome time for you to take advantage of what New York Sash has to offer with their America 250 sale as they celebrate America's 250th with an amazing opportunities here. Right now, when you buy 2 windows, you'll get 1 free. 4, get 2 free. 10, get 5 free. The list goes on. There's no limit. Plus, you'll save 50% off expert bath installation. And here's the biggie. This is huge. Qualified buyers can receive 0% financing for 25 months, making it easier for you to do it now and not use the maybe next year excuse. It's time to do it now. It's New York Sash. Go to NewYorkSash.com for details. Call them 624-7344 or visit them on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro, New York Sash.
We have mostly cloudy skies, currently at 73 degrees. This update is brought to you by Destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Tropical storm Bertha is inching along the Gulf Coast. The latest update from the National Hurricane Center puts the storm about 110 miles south-southwest of Panama City, Florida, heading northwest with maximum sustained winds of 50 miles an hour. Bertha could bring heavy rains, winds, and rip currents along with a storm surge to the region as it moves along the coast. President Trump will be present at the dignified transfer of 2 U.S. soldiers killed in Iranian attacks in Jordan over the weekend. Today's solemn ceremony will take place at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. 19-year-old Isabella Gonzalez of Texas was killed on Friday, and 25-year-old Tyler Freehan of Hawaii was killed Saturday. A judge is putting a temporary block on the Paramount-Warner Brothers Discovery merger. This comes after a dozen states sued over the merger, arguing it would harm competition. The order puts a 2-week pause on that deal. Tennessee's trial against Instagram owner Meta is underway. There are claims of platform targets and harms its young users. Jury selection got underway yesterday. The trial is expected to last 6 to 7 weeks and will focus on social media features like infinite scrolling, disappearing stories, and notifications. The state argues Meta knew about the addictive risks but failed to adequately warn children and parents. A hearing for singer and accused murderer David starts today. The hearing expected to last 3 to 7 days. Prosecutors will present their evidence and testimony before a judge decides if there is enough evidence for a trial. The singer, whose real name is David Burke, is accused of murdering 14-year-old Celeste Hernandez. And SpaceX hopes to launch its massive Starship rocket Thursday evening from the pad at Starbase, Texas. The mission was previously planned for July 16th, but scrubbed at the last minute because of an issue with several of the rocket's 33 Raptor engines. So they will try again on Thursday. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:29. Here's your Weather Center forecast.
A front is going to result in windy and wet conditions today with showers and thunderstorms from this morning to the afternoon with a high of 83 as winds gust up out of the south. More rain tonight down to 62, and then a windy and cooler Wednesday tomorrow with scattered thunderstorms at a high of 73. Clearing will take place on Thursday as the high reaches 76. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, right now cloudy skies and 73 degrees at 8:30. All right, Utica Councilperson Samantha Colosimo Testa is on the phone with us now. Good morning. How are you, Sam?
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
Good. So I wanted you to react to, we had Councilperson Aiello on yesterday. The lawsuit was dismissed. It sounds like she's considering refiling or appealing. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen here. You were named in this as well, but your involvement in this is kind of interesting. I will get to that in a second, but your thoughts on the dismissal first.
Well, I mean, again, and I talked about this with you yesterday. When you bring a lawsuit on yourself, and then in an interview you say we are bringing an appeal in December, bringing an appeal whenever recently, it kind of doesn't make sense to me. And you say you're pro se, you're by yourself, but yet you use the term we. Who is we, and who are you bringing this lawsuit with? Like, that's concerning to me. And you go back to the fact of, I'm included in a lawsuit, and I didn't even take a COLA increase. So again, and to top this all off, Jeff, is I'm the one that introduced the legislation to waive the COLA increases. So it's not like I don't disagree with the concept of not taking a pay raise or a COLA increase when a budget is being, increased and property taxes are going up. So I don't disagree with that concept. But this is going a little too far, even based on that appeal, and including people into a lawsuit that didn't even take a COLA increase. I think is my biggest concern with all of this, and it's been my concern since day one.
What do you think?
Wasting resources, and I don't care if we have $700,000 worth of attorneys in the city of Utica or not. They're taking time away from actual issues inside the city to defend this lawsuit. I mean, if you look at all the motions and everything like that they've had to go through, there was almost a year of litigation that took away from our city attorneys from actual business to be conducted inside the city of Utica. And you're telling me there's not a cost associated with that? That's far beyond the, exceeding what the whole point of the goal was of the COLA increase, whether it was the CPI of the Northeast or the CPI of the the U.S. It doesn't make sense to me. And even the difference between those two during that year was like 0.5%. So, approximately. And I sent you a couple links today.
Yeah.
And I wanted you to go through those. So I get on the council. I served an 8-year term as the 6th Ward Council representative. I took 2 years off because I believed in the term limit legislation, and then ran again after those 2 years were done as an at-large representative. The first 2 years I got back on was Paul Mary's last 2 years. In that budget that I sent you, okay, and I want you to read this. Can you pull that up, please?
Yeah.
Okay, read what the increases were from the 2022 to 2023 year and the 2023-2024 year, which might I add that Councilperson Aiello was on the council at this point in time. What was the difference in salary increases in those 2 years?
The total or per counselor?
No, just the total of what, or just name the salary line from each year and what those increases were.
It looks like the council was getting about $17,811. The total line is $218,110, and it went to $229,097.
So if you look at that increase, that's about a 5.5% of a COLA increase that the council received during my first year back on the council. In the second year, okay, if you add those two individual totals, that was about a 6% increase. So in just those 2 years, the first 2 years that I was back on the council, and so was Councilperson Aiello, our COLA increase totaled to about 11.5%. Now, if you look at the lawsuit that she has against the city, she's claiming in the first year we got back on the council, I believe that, I don't believe Galini took an increase in that first year that he got back on, and he told us that with the first year and the second year being back on to about 6%, which she's not arguing. I guess the whole point is arguing what CPI he actually used, okay? Why wasn't that lawsuit included in her first 2 years as a council person with that 11.5% COLA increase? Because that was definitely not the CPI for those 2 years. I believe the first year of 2023 was like 2.5%. And then if you looked at 2024, it was about 3%. So we went from to an 11.5% COLA increase when the CPI was only 5%. So my whole point is, and again, you could say this is political, and just a reminder, I actually sponsored the legislation to waive the COLA increase for that year. So again, I agree with the principle. I just think this is taking it a little too far. And if she really wanted to prove the point, she would have included her first 2 years on the council and included Paul Mary into that lawsuit as well, because he gave out 11.5% in COLA increases and nothing was said then. So that's why I get frustrated in wasting time and resources Again, because it's not about getting a COLA increase. It's not. Because if that was the case, you would have had that concern the first 2 years. This is nothing but a political ploy to drag Galimi's name. And again, whether you agree or disagree with what he actually did when he took the COLA increase when taxes are raised, it's besides the point in my mind, because this has gone too far. So you went through a year of litigation, and now you're going to appeal it based on a decision that wasn't the merit. It's like, okay, you want to prove the point, right? But your point should have been proven and included Palmieri in those last 2 years of his term, and the first 2 years of yours with 11.5% COLA increases. And that's my biggest frustration. Like, this has gone on too far. We almost might not be council people anymore by the time this lawsuit is settled, because if we run against it, we all lose. Now you're exceeding it beyond your council term to prove a point for what, $5,000 to $6,000? When this is people sit on the council with Katie and gave Palmieri a $10,000 raise and approved it on the council. The Democratic chair's the comptroller. They approved those raises. Did you think that he included that raise for the comptroller to increase that salary $10,000, knowing that he wasn't going to be the comptroller in the city in the next 2 years? I mean, come on, man. It's just ridiculous. There are a lot of other issues that this city's facing that I can't even call a meeting on. Like, I called a meeting 2 weeks ago and had to wait until tomorrow
I was going to say,
actually have a meeting.
You're coming up tomorrow, and what is that issue that you want to highlight? And why did you call this meeting?
They just had a meeting over the weekend in support of an assembly candidate, and they all were there for that. So they all were able to take the time to meet for that, but can't meet for actual city business. So the reason that we're meeting tomorrow, and there was a time constraint because the police academy starts, I believe it's like August 1st. So the police chief has been pleading with the council that they cannot find recruits. They're having a serious time with the residency requirement. So during our budget meetings, this, that, and the third, everything's going on. We get a piece of legislation that's drafted by our city attorney that didn't even make sense to me. There was things stricken out. It was like a permanent waiver of the actual residency, overturning term limits, and it just didn't make any sense. So I had said to the council, I'm not comfortable passing this piece of legislation or laying it on the table. I said, please, give me a little time. I'll draft a piece of legislation. I'll send it to the chief, have him, look over it, and then we could meet. So the legislation states that we're going to waive the residency requirement for 5 years in order for the police department to apply, to have candidates apply not to live in the city, okay? And that is only for 5 years. It doesn't overturn the referendum. It just gives the police department the chance to be able to vet candidates that aren't in the city of Utica. Oh, obviously they're going to, try and hire those inside the city first. Mm-hmm. But it does give them the opportunity that if they don't have enough candidates to vet, to hire people. Because we're short a number of guys on the police department, and almost to the point that if we don't start looking at other ways to try and recruit police officers, that there could be a serious problem inside the Utica Police Department as far as protection for the city of Utica. So obviously, the protection of the citizens come first. Public safety is our number one aspect, and if we don't have police to fill those positions, then we're in serious trouble inside the city.
Do you know offhand how short the police department is currently?
With retirements, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know off the top of my head. I mean, it's almost could be the tune of almost 20 officers at this point. It's a pretty big number. That this is vital and this is very important. Especially to the police chief when trying to recruit those in the department. And it's not like we're overturning referendums like the term limits. I mean, that's not what we're doing here. We're literally putting it on hold just to make sure that the police department has other options in case they need to hire some people outside the city.
Well, and I guess while we're on the topic, I think you said something like August 1st. When is the next class, I guess, for lack of a better term,
I believe that starts August 1st. That's why the waiver was kind of important to get it done, and now we kind of missed that timeline for that first academy going through. So that's why it's like, okay, everybody wants to dilly-dale, but yet there's, serious problems inside the city, and we're worried about, a $6,000 COLA increase for the mayor, while we allowed, 11.5% COLA increases for the first 2 years while we were on the council. Like, it's really to the point that it's like the council's just, it's petty. And Blake was on, and he said, the one thing that was really important that I actually kind of, stuck with him on is that there's no red and blue. Like, we live in the city, we represent the city, and this nonsense of political politics just has to end. It has to. I've been in the minority on the council, and I have never dealt with the politics that I'm dealing with now. And their number one goal is they don't care who's in that position. They want to see this administration fail, and it's terrible. Because as much as I dislike Palmieri, I would never, and I say dislike Palmieri, I dislike his politics. I would never want the city of Utica to fail while he was in that position. And it's to the point where it's just ridiculous now. They've used their power beyond what it's needed to be used for. And you see it at every meeting. They try and stymie things. They try and put things aside. They try and not talk about issues. Anytime you make a point, they actually make a motion in a second to end the meeting. I mean, this is all documented. This is all on air. Everything's televised. So if anybody wants to go and they want to go see what's actually going on in the council, they have the opportunity to view it themselves. You have the Democratic chair, who's the comptroller, sitting at our meetings, telling the council how to vote and what to do. It's absolutely disgusting. And it happens almost every single council meeting.
Sam, the meeting you mentioned is tomorrow.
Which I called the meeting, and they didn't even ask me if I could attend the meeting tomorrow. Like, that's how bad it is. I mean, I forwarded you the email. You saw it. I mean, I said, guys, nobody thought to ask me if I could attend the meeting tomorrow. I mean, fortunately, I don't have any place to go, but if I did, I would have to cancel it because I think that this topic's important. The only thing tomorrow is going to do is lay it on the table, in order to have a public hearing, get public commenting period in and stuff like that. And then, the council has to wait a week after they lay it on the table in order to be able to hold another meeting to vote on the actual legislation, if they choose to. But again, this was a bipartisan, discussion that, we have all agreed, unless there's some things that have changed and maybe the chief or I or anybody else is not aware of, but everybody was comfortable going forward with this, in order to help the police department. So I don't understand what the holdup is unless they were told to change their minds.
All right. Utica Councilperson Samantha Colosimo Testa. So at issue, the one we were just talking about is a temporary, waiver of the city's residency requirement because the police department is saying they're having trouble recruiting new members as they have some vacancies coming up. Sam,
and here's the thing, Jeff. This might not work as well. We might still have these issues beyond this. I mean, so this is an option that we're giving that could help the police department in retention purposes, and hopefully it does work a little bit. But I mean, I don't see us recruiting 10 to 20 officers based on a residency waiver. But I mean, hopefully we do. But there's obviously other things that the city's going to have to do moving forward.
This is just to try to help the problem. It doesn't really solve it. So
100%.
Thank you, Councilperson Testa from the city of Utica.
All right. Have a good day, guys.
Have a good day. She got a little bit off. These headphones are killing me. Got a little bit off her chest there this morning, huh?
Well,
clearly frustrated.
Hiring has been an issue for a number of years in policing across, but it's no surprise. I was on the record a long time ago. I disagree with the residency requirement. I understand that it went to a referendum and the voters voted on it, but I remember back there wasn't enough, I think, discussion publicly about what might happen with that referendum, and some of us within the police department suspected this would happen. Here's how I look at it: a police officer, whenever you put that vest on and strap that gun on, you're committed to where you're working. The whole argument behind it is that if people come from outside, maybe they live in New Hartford or New York Mills, and they become a Utica police officer, not invested in the city. That's nonsense. It's complete nonsense. That's just not the fact. And the reality of it is, you want the best people working on your team. I don't care if you're in sports or, if you work for Apple, you want the best candidates you can get. And if that means taking somebody from New Hartford or New York Mills or Whitesboro, wherever it is, you want the best people. And to just exclude people, we're too small of an area. Even Syracuse, that has a much bigger pool, they waived it because they realize they can't get people. And that's a much bigger city that can draw in from a lot of areas. You can't restrict yourself to such a small city like Utica. I would even argue maybe even the county. Maybe you can say, okay, adjoining counties. It's just you want the best people to do the job. And the only way you do that is by opening up the pool.
It's interesting. We'll see what happens. And as we say, this doesn't really solve the problem. It's a way to try to help it. But
yeah,
you how you were with the police department 25 years?
22.
22 years.
Yep.
What would you tell somebody who's thinking about looking at law enforcement as a career, or specifically a position as a police officer in a local city, town, or village?
The job itself has always had ebbs and flows where there's things are really well and it's always a tough job. It's never been an easy job.
Sure.
But it's always been that up and down where, people like you, then they don't like you. That you don't get into the job to win a popularity contest. You do it because you feel that draw towards public service. So unfortunately, because there's so much negativity towards the profession as a whole right now, you have a lot of people that are like, hey, I'm going to just go do something else. I think you are drawn to it as a profession, and there are those that will just say, I don't care, this is what I want to do, and I'm just going to do it. But I worry that there are some people that maybe might be well-suited for the profession that are just going to say, hey, I just don't want to deal with that nonsense, I'm going to go do something else. Well, maybe they would be great police officers. So I think you just have to put your head down, listen to your bosses, do the job the right way. And, it's a great profession. It can be very rewarding. It's challenging. It can be very rewarding, though.
It is 8:46, Smitty. We're going to go ahead and take a quick time out and come back with more. We've got something to give away this week. Remind me what that is? I'll have to look. Okay. Well, we'll hit that on the other side. It's First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
What's your design inspiration? A picture on the wall? A photo from a magazine? A board you've made on Pinterest? Hi, this is Kira Meelan from Meelan's Carpet One. It's amazing what some of our customers bring to us for inspiration, and we love working side by side with them to help turn their flooring dream into a reality. It's actually one of my favorite parts of the job, helping you to discover your perfect flooring. And there really is so much to discover. Consider the latest flooring trends as you plan your next home project. Many of our customers are surprised by the incredible new choices we have available. For example, today's snap-together waterproof luxury vinyl is incredibly popular. It's durable and it's stunning, with so many styles that replicate hardwood and beautiful stone looks. We have options that inspire, designers who will help bring it all together, and always a beautiful installation. To get the perfect flooring, start with the right flooring store. Visit Meelan's Carpet One on Commercial Drive East in Yorkville.
This is Dan from Acme Pool and Spa on Commercial Drive in New Hartford, across from Texas Roadhouse. Get years of summer fun for you and your family with a new above-ground pool starting at just $89.99 installed. You can take advantage of our 0% in-house financing. We can have your new pool installed in about 10 days. Don't let the summer pass you by. If an in-ground pool is your dream, the experts at Acme will guide you through the process. There's nothing better than enjoying summer in your backyard with an in-ground pool. Don't miss out on our midsummer sale with above-ground pools starting at $89.99 installed within about 10 days with our in-house 0% financing. Or let the experts at Acme guide you through selecting a custom in-ground pool, choosing from steel or fiberglass options. That's Acme Pool and Spa on Commercial Drive in New Hartford, and our midsummer pool sale going on now. We do the work, you just enjoy.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton. If you have substantial assets, a delay in planning can cost you. It takes time to reduce taxes and protect assets. Planning ahead can save money and ease the stress on your family. We employ multiple strategies to protect what you have built. Call us for a free analysis of your tax and asset protection issues, because the smartest plan is made early.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
You know you want one. A Bad Boys mower isn't just another mower. It's second to none. It's an American-built machine with heavy-duty U.S. steel and shipped straight to Bob's Bad Boys mowers, never sitting around in a warehouse. That means when you're ready to mow, your bad boy is ready to go. And when the job's done, we're still here with expert sales, service, maintenance, and warranty support. Stop by Bob's Bad Boys Sales and Service, 6419 Middle Road in Munnsville. Call 315-264-2781 or visit bobsbadboys.com.
At River Hills Properties, they call it white glove treatment, service that's not normally provided to customers looking to buy or sell a home here in upstate New York. This is Bill Keeler. My wife and I had River Hills sell our home, and it sold in under a week, but it was more than that. It was all of the things that they did to relieve the stress, to serve as a team member for us, and basically get the job done and make it easier for a buyer to come in and understand. That's where the book comes in. It's like a manual for the home. They create all of that. No lockbox. Your listing agent, and for us it was Robin Monjo, your listing agent there every time the house is shown. That's River Hills Properties. And now they have a full-service office in Sarasota, Florida. Think Snowbird. Think River Hills Properties, located in Barneville, Little Falls, in Newport and Rome, and now in Sarasota, Florida. 315-896-1009. Nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
Hurt in a car? Call William Matar. 315-444-4444.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Back a Tuesday morning, first news Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Jeff Manaski and Steve Hauk guest hosting this morning. And as a former cop, we were talking about this during the break, and I don't mean to have you rehash the conversation we had, but I think it's significant in when there is a shortage in something like this. And I want to be clear. I'm not saying getting rid of the residency requirement, even if temporarily, is lowering the standard. Okay, that's a different requirement. I don't think that has to do with the standard or the quality of the employee where you live. But oftentimes when there's difficulty recruiting, you see the standards get lowered, and that's not necessarily a good thing for the profession or the community.
Well, we've seen it in New York City. They started with the physical standard. They changed it a few years ago. And if you're interested, if go online, go to YouTube, put in NYPD physical agility test, and you can see it there. They demonstrate it for you. It's a fairly low bar. And this happens across the country when it's like any profession. Mm-hmm. It doesn't, if you can't put people there to do the job and no one's coming, the only way to do that is to increase your pool. And you increase your pool a couple different ways. You make the job much better, pay-wise, benefits-wise, or you lower your standard. And when you start lowering your standard in professions like police officers, bad things happen.
Yeah. And again, this is not a criticism. I understand that they're trying to attract new people, but I remember it used to be, I think we've even seen this at the county level. I'm 100% sure of it, where, again, this is not a criticism of the individuals themselves, but when they have to fill these positions. So it used to be a civil service exam, I believe, for Oneida County corrections officer, and now it's like a survey. And
yeah, so that was a pilot program originally.
Increase the pay there,
right?
Because they are struggling to find people, and I wonder how much. And this is part of the conversation we were having during the break, is the perception of law enforcement and how members of law enforcement are portrayed, whether you want to say in the media or politically. However you want to say it. Obviously, there's people who do bad things. Members of law enforcement. Obviously, we had a couple of cases here where corrections officers were found guilty in the beating deaths of inmates. That's not something ever that you want to condone. And again, I'm speaking generally about law enforcement because we began here talking about the police department recruiting specifically. But, by and large, you have top quality candidates who, as you say, it's kind of a calling. It's not like they raised the pay $2,500. Well, I want to get a sign-on bonus. It's more about the type of person you are and like a commitment to duty and responsibility.
Yeah, nobody hates bad cops worse than cops because they make your job 100 times harder, and they give you a bad reputation. And you got to go face your family and the people that you love. And if you've got somebody that works for you that does something bad like that, I'm sure every corrections officer in this area had somebody at every family party or every wedding they went to. Hey, I heard what happened. What do you know? Nobody wants to face that. You take a lot of pride in what your profession is, and you make a lot of sacrifices to do it. So nobody hates those bad actors worse than the people that do the job. But you have to make a job. And I said this early on with the whole thing with the corrections is I'm not justifying anything those guys did. They were 100% wrong, and they'll pay the price for it. However, at what point does the state take responsibility for the situation they put some of those corrections officers in with having to work the hours they work with no time off because they can't go out and recruit, or they won't go out and recruit and hire and fill those positions? These people have to work double and triple shifts. It's not right. They shouldn't have to do it. And the stress level in that job, just like law enforcement and police officers, is incredibly high. And they make it too demanding. It's too difficult.
Let's see. Comment here from Lance this morning. Lance says, this is over now. He says, ask Gentile how many New Hartford players have parents who are politicians as opposed to the Utica team. Secondly, when did it become Little League practice to have 4 to 6 coaches on a team? Looking at the Utica team photos, they had one coach for every 2 players. Around here, it's 2 coaches per team. There may have been a couple extra people in polo shirts in the photos, Lance, but I do think it's essentially 2 to 3 coaches per team with most of our local youth teams. I don't know what he's talking about, 6. Smitty, we have, let me see here on YouTube before I get yelled at here. I know Tony. Nothing on point here, at least in regard to what we're talking about at this time. Smitty, we do have a giveaway we need to get to, though. And then we're supposed to do this last hour, and I apologize. Okay, How Sweet It Is. Steve Lyle sings James Taylor. Grammy Award-winning songwriter and recording artist Steve Leslie performs the music of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame songwriter James Taylor in an authentic and spellbinding concert event. Steve Leslie performing at the View Arts Center, which is in Old Forge, coming up August 1st, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Tickets are like $45, depending on if you're a member or non-member. We're going to give away a pair of tickets now to caller 8, 315-736-0186, 315-736-0186. Caller 8 to see Steve Leslie singing James Taylor at the View Arts Center. All right, we got about a minute left. Anything else on your mind today?
No, James Taylor actually was just at SPAC about a week and a half ago. He sounded actually right before July 4th. He sounded actually really good. What's he got to be in his mid 70s? Is that about right?
We'll check that.
Tell you of course, he wasn't really. 78. Wow, that's amazing. Wasn't really ripping his voice out with his type of singing, but still at that age to have a voice that strong, it's amazing.
We'll take caller 8 for that, 315-736-0186. Appreciate you sitting in this morning.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
And that'll do it for us. We're back tomorrow. Another edition of First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
You wouldn't drive a car without suspension, so why mow without it? Ferris Commercial Mowers set the bar as the first and only manufacturer to integrate suspension into their mowers, allowing you to go faster, cut better, and not get beat up. Whether you're a professional cutter or a homeowner that wants to mow like a pro, Ferris is there with the commercial-grade mowers to keep you going strong. Visit the Caledonia family today at Clinton Tractor to set up a test drive and feel the Ferris difference.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
People of all ages can experience any level of discomfort for knee pain, hip pain, back pain, and you know what? It could be stemming from your feet. This is Bill Keeler. The Good Feet Store is here to help, and there are so many that swear by these inserts that go into your shoes and make all the difference in the world when it comes to pain. It's a 3-step system, strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers. There are a whole program that you follow, and it could very well change your life when it comes to pain. It's called the Good Feet Store. No obligation. You can walk right in for a free fitting and test walk. No appointment is needed. You can walk right in. They're located now in New Hartford at 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford. Get directions, make an appointment if you like, ask questions, 315-999-3910. It's the Good Feet Store, 315-999-3910.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton. If you have substantial assets, a delay in planning can cost you. It takes time to reduce taxes and protect assets. Planning ahead can save money and ease the stress on your family.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 From the WB Tain Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
2 funerals for Lindsey Graham. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The first one will be a week from today at Washington's National Cathedral after a ceremony honoring the late Republican senator at the U.S. Capitol. Then next Wednesday, another funeral in South Carolina, where today a filing period begins for Republicans who want to run for Senate in next month's primary to replace Graham as the GOP nominee. And his sister will be on that ballot, telling Fox,
I will do it. I will take on the challenge. You know, Lindsey was always there for me, and I feel like now I need to step up and be there for him.
Senator Darlene Graham already holds that seat, appointed to fill out the rest of her brother's current term. It's primary day in Arizona. The polls just opened, with 2 Republican congressmen vying for the chance to unseat Democratic Governor Katie Hobbs in November.
Andy Biggs has represented Arizona's 5th district for 5 terms and is the former chair of the House Freedom Caucus. He has the backing of President Trump and Turning Point Action. U.S. Representative David Schweikert was elected to Congress in 2010. He's hoping to win over independent voters.
Fox's Alex Hogan. Another primary being watched in Arizona today is on the Democratic side. A progressive socialist, Kai Newkirk, trying to unseat Congressman Greg Stanton. New Fox News power rankings just out ahead of the midterm elections give Democrats a slight edge in the House as they try to win back the majority that finds the Senate even, with races in 4 states too close to call in the polling so far. The U.S. has bombed Iran a 10th straight night, and Iran retaliated again, hitting countries housing U.S. bases, including Kuwait.
Early this morning, Iran attacked another tanker off the coast of Oman, forcing the crew to evacuate the vessel, according to maritime tracking groups. This does come after President Trump issued a new warning to the regime about killing Americans.